Shelby Heating and Air. Online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. There's no use to be cold this coming winter. Head on into Today's Pro in Shelby for warmth and comfort. From gas logs to fireplaces to inserts and more. With name brands like Empire, Monessen, and Buck Stove. Be ready for old man winter today with a stop at Today's Pro in Shelby. And they also do service calls. And don't forget they fill those propane cylinders. Just call 704-600-8393. 704-600-8393. Today's Pro, 1325 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at thetodayspro.com.
You're listening to the Wolfman Jack.
I'd say when I was a little kid, I was brought up listening to Alan Freed.
Wolfman Jack.
When I was just getting started, the hip thing was to say, "What's happening, Jack?" "Hey, Jack, what's going on?" So that was the hip slang, So being a horror classic freak like I am, I chose the Wolfman because it was a very animal-sounding name, and the name Jack because of the hip slang. What's happening, Jack? Because Jack always knew what was happening. You understand what I mean? Wolfman Jack.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on The Balls. WHS Shelby, online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
It's time to head to the mountains. Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, that is. Come and play in the shadows of beautiful Crowder's Mountain. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for just $30, and after 1 p.m., only $27. Play and ride weekends for $40, and after 1 p.m., only $35. Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for $20, and seniors play and ride Monday through Friday for only $27. Call for your tee times at 704-739-7681. Located at 255 Lincoln Academy Road off Highway 74 west of Gastonia.
At Carolina Federal Credit Union, we know that we are not like the others. When you make a deposit, you're getting an excellent rate and helping a neighbor refinance for a reliable vehicle, buy a home, or start a family. It has been our community that has helped us thrive for over 50 years. The more that we grow, the better we can serve all of our neighbors. All that it takes to become a member is to be a part of the community. Carolina Federal Credit Union. We treat you like family because you are.
Here's good news from Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville and the Boston Pharmacy in Boston. Both locations now have flu shots available. Come get yours today so you'll feel good all winter long. For details, call Medical Center Pharmacy in Cherryville at 704-435-3263 or the Boston Pharmacy in Boston at 704-538-3021. Medical Center Pharmacy, 607 East Academy Street in Cherryville, and the Boston Pharmacy, Highway 18 North in Boston.
And good morning and welcome to another Saturday. I was a little worried this morning because it seems like it was going to be just sports talk with Kevin and me, JP.
And that would have been
that would have been interesting. Kevin, the conversation for Kevin would have been very one-sided, because you know me, I know nothing about sports. I just work here.
We could have started off with tennis, and we can go ahead, since JP was the one on time. We can do that. But
yeah,
first,
the Djokovic.
But first, we'll talk a little bit about Tom will.
It's a joke, okay?
About Shelby.
Heating and Air.
Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704-487-7877 for all your heating and air needs. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com. It was a little cold over the last couple of days. That saved us from that hurricane, thank goodness. But it's also another reminder that you might need to get your heating system checked out before the real winter months come. So once again, give them a call, 704-487-7877. Online, shelbyheating.com. Kevin.
Well, JP, big news in, I guess, tennis the last few weeks and this week. Roger Federer
has retired, yes. I didn't realize that. Greatest women's champion of all time.
Serena's retiring.
Yeah.
So losing some big names in the tennis world this year. Djokovic not allowed in the country, but anyone else that wants to is. Any other news there in the tennis world?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thanks news. For that. Thanks for that in-depth report on tennis.
You're welcome.
JP. Yeah, you should have known that was coming.
Yeah, I know.
You should have known.
I braced for disappointment. It was good to see Zach Thursday night. I hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah, it's good to see Zach. Hopefully he'll be back.
Park.
What's that?
He's been over to Park a few times.
Oh, has he? He's got kids playing over there?
Yep, somebody's playing. He's over there.
No, he's got cousins playing over there and stuff. All right, this week, NASCAR playoffs time. Playoffs. We are in Talladega. Terry's got his drinks out, ready to rock. You got your lawn chair in the front yard, Terry, and your radio ready for the race?
That's it. I mean, that's all. I mean, who wants to watch it now that Kyle Busch don't have a chance?
Am I right to say that it seems like every week a guy's winning the race who's not in the playoff?
The first 3 weeks, it did happen. Believe it or not.
It's like whoever's not. I think the guys in the playoff are too worried about wrecking. They don't want to try to win a race. Third straight time, and they get on there and say, "Yeah, well, I'm not in the playoff. I can't win a championship, but it doesn't matter. I keep racing. I want to win."
Well, I mean, they need to win. I mean, that's more money for them if they win. Yeah. I mean, I agree with every bit of that. If you're going to let them in it, I mean, you need to be out there. I think Kyle Busch is just. I mean, I'm honest to goodness. Last week after his miscue, I kind of just sat there and I said, you know what? I just think he's already gave up of why he's even racing right now.
Well, he did announce he'll be in the 8 car next year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Richard Childress racing.
From a Toyota to a Chevy. You know,
big talk a lot this week on safety and different things you could do across the board. I'm gonna get to over to Rodney Childers' tweets here in just a second. From a crew chief, he'll be making his 600th crew chief start this weekend, Terry, in Talladega. And they were talking the big deal, the tires last week blowing out, and everybody's talking about that and wanting to blame, everyone's wanting to blame this, that, and whatever. But, one of his responses was they were talking about how the crew chiefs always have, when I say always, I'm going to read you his tweet. They always have the air pressures lower than the recommended than what Goodyear says.
Mm-hmm.
So, here is, I'm going to read everything. This is kind of lengthy, but not too lengthy. This is Rodney Childers, crew chief of Kevin Harvick's car in his 600 start this weekend, talking about everything that's going on with what happened last weekend. He says, quote, "My view still comes down to the rules and the box that we're in. At the track, and the track at Texas compounds it all. The problem wasn't necessarily the tires. Yes, they could be better. They could always be better. But the reason there are tire issues is the shock limiter rule. The teams wouldn't be running these tires lower if you could get the car lower in the back and the diffuser and the diffuser to its optimal downforce point. If you could run the car lower with the suspension, you would actually run more air in the tires to keep the travel more consistent. Another option that would help is to make the rear diffuser where it makes the most downforce with a half an inch higher than it is, but that's kind of impossible. Right now, you can't really get the diffuser down to the optimal spot for the maximum downforce because you are locked by the limiters. The only way to get it lower and go faster is to let air out of the tires. If you get the diffuser 1/100th lower by squishing the tires more, it's free speed, like you added a more spoiler to your car. So on top of that, the Texas track configuration makes it worse. Less speed, less banking, less load on one end of the track compared to the other. So to keep the car low enough and fast enough in 1 and 2 where you can pass someone, you have to be bumping limiters some in 3 and 4. Hitting solid rods puts all the load through the tires. So to conclude, make the back of the car where it makes max downforce at a higher height is the long-term goal. Get rid of the limiter rule. It has caused nothing but issues in the entire year. It would make every team want to run more air in the tires, and some of the reason the racing isn't as good at some tracks. Drivers aren't going to race door to door when they are scared to death through 3 and 4. Make the tires more durable. It can't be like it's on a knife edge. So, Terry, your thoughts on Rodney's?
Well, my thoughts is I'm sitting here and I'd love to ask every other crew chief. I understand what he's saying, and I do understand last week in Texas they had a lot of trouble, all kinds of trouble with tires. But is that ever raced? I don't think so.
Yes, I'm going to read another quote. To be clear, this weekend, my official 600 race as a crew chief in the Cup Series, and I have raced below the minimum requirements by a good year in 599 races. Anyone knows me knows I don't BS. This isn't one person's fault. It's everyone's fault from top to bottom. That was someone saying it sounds like a crew chief trying to justify going below Goodyear's minimum tire pressure. So his response was, everyone is below the minimum tire pressure. So I did have one question, Terry, for you as far as this new car. You know, we've talked safety, and that's the biggest issue. There's even talk of a driver strike that I think Keselowski shot down. But the new cars, Terry, when they went to the low-profile tires, I always wondered, and you've seen, and they have to get now drug off the track, and because they can't drive back. And I always wondered, you've seen the tires spin before. Plenty of times in the past in slow motion on these pit stops, and every time you could just see the tires, you know what I mean, like squish down. Yeah. And when you come out I'm not an expert on tires, so I don't know anything about that. But my question was that not going to affect part of this is by going to the low profile tires instead of these big, thick racing tires?
That's a good question, Kevin, and I'm not the one to be able to sit back and say that makes a difference. But, I mean, that's just like when they start off and they come to the start line and there's like, don't spin your tires, because then that puts you like a segment behind another person who didn't gets a jump on you. I mean, is that hurting there? And then you're doing it in the pits also. Does that make everything totally different from your car? And Tom, I see you looking out in space like, what the heck?
Well, I just think it's
air conditioning.
It's another. It's just everybody's going to whine about something. That's just what reminds. Everybody's going to whine about something. It doesn't matter.
Well,
it doesn't
everybody
matter
was
what
whining
it is.
last
Well,
week.
the issue, Tom, is that it's a safety thing, because you're going into these corners at 185 and you don't know if the tire's going to blow.
There's not enough.
Well, last week there were so many leaders who were ahead, and I'm talking at least a second, and then all of a sudden they hit the wall.
So you're saying there's not enough force in the back end, so they come out.
That's what
basically what's going on.
Right.
There's not enough force in the back end, so they need to change the rules to put more downforce in the back end. Well, my question is very simply, well, it seems like something simple. Why don't they just do it? What's the advantage of having the current rule? That's what's not been explained to me. I mean, I understand the drawbacks of the current rule, that you're wearing out the tires, that you can't turn in the turns, and it's causing more accidents. What's the justification for the current rule?
All right, so almost all the justifications for any of the current rules, for the most part, have been that they want all the cars to be as close to exactly the same as possible. So they're making them buy the same parts to go in the cars, as opposed to I'm buying old Dodge or Chevy or Pontiac or whatever it is you're buying for your car. They're making these cars where only basically the front ends, Terry, and the engines are yours, for Chevy or Toyota. Everything else is pretty much stock and block.
And it should be like that.
No, I disagree, because you're taking away from the creativity and the imagination of the mechanics and the engineers.
Well, that's what he's saying with the limiters.
Yeah.
So that's to answer your question, Tom.
Yeah.
Take the limiters off, the guys can go up and down as much as they want. There you go with that.
Right.
Then there's another adjustment. The drivers are concerned with, when they're hitting the walls, they're saying it feels harder than any car they've ever had. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't. It's what that's why Kurt Busch is still out and not racing. When these take these hits, they're saying they're getting more G-force basically from the hits. So there's a few issues altogether as far as what's going on there. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, and there's somebody else that's out this week. That was let me think.
So here's your comparison.
Yeah, there's somebody else that's in the top 12 that's out this week that cannot race.
Of the tire sizes, how much it's almost half, close to half in thickness from the old style to the new style. So like I said, I'm not an expert in that if that means that much. But the Goodyear guy, Terry, his interview, he was like wide-eyed. Poor guy. They have a representative at the track.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there doing the interview after the race.
Well, the thing that got to this point last week in Texas is a lot of them, I think they come, I can't remember how many total sets they come with, but all of them was through. Yeah, they had no tires left. The only thing they could put back on was a scuff. If they was going to continue, they couldn't put back on a brand new set of tires because they had already run through all of them. And I think that's where it got it at the end last week. But, and I was kind of scared for him because I was worried about the leader because he wrecked so many times, no matter who was leading.
Right.
They hit the wall, and then you're just kind of sitting there like, well, next guy gets out there. I mean, I would be scared going into turns with thinking about the car's going to come out from under me.
Yeah.
So looking over at the standings right now, in the top 8 above the cutoff line, Logano first, Chastain, Larson, Blaney, Hamlin, Suarez, Elliott, and Briscoe. Outside looking in right now is Austin Cindric, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman.
I think Alex Bowman is the guy that's out. Might want to check out. I think he's the guy that will not be racing this week.
Because he's hurt.
Yep.
Now, let's see. So it's down to how many people?
12.
Is it 12? Okay. So, and if he's out, Terry, he's pretty much, how's that work?
You about
he's got to
counted
get a
over.
lap in, don't you?
Yeah, he's got to be out there.
Do one lap?
Yes.
Okay,
so he's already been declared out, and that's when they went back to Kurt Busch, of some of the guys that got in, which, Ryan Blaney was the lucky person on that end to be able to get in. So,
well, what do you think about I meant to switch that back over. What do you think about the NASCAR penalties this week and the bumping and the everything with Hamlin and was it William Byron and everything else this week?
Well, I don't know whether NASCAR just comes down on something else when everything else is going wrong and it's all pointing to them. Come on, let them race right now. You got 12 drivers left in it. Everybody's going to do what they can. I don't want you to cheat because that's where me and Tom might differ because I think Tom's on the same page. I don't think he wants a guy to cheat to win a championship.
I don't think he wants to cheat. I'm just saying that you got to be it's more than just the driver. If you try to make the cars identical, is it just all about the driver, Terry?
It should be. Do you not think so? And the
but
reason I say that is on account of guys who only have one car. And where Hendricks might have 400 employees,
and they have an advantage.
This person has 30.
But at the same time, it's kind of like your argument is, well, it should be all about the players. Let's make all these NFL teams identical, so we'll take coaching out of it. I don't agree with that. I think that the engineers, well, I guess because I'm a little prejudiced because my daughter's an engineer, but I think if my team can out-engineer you, if they can come up with something more creative within the rules, without cheating, something more creative, something more dynamic, they just outworked you. They came up with something better. Then why shouldn't they work? What's more American than that? I just figured out a better way to do it than you, and I won the race. So I understand why you're trying to make it about the drivers, but I think that also your crew chief, your engineers, some have more resources. I will agree with how Kevin said, well, it's not fair when you don't have equal resources. Maybe if you equalize the budgets, I wonder if they could do that, if they could equalize. It's like football does, right? You can only spend so much money, and that's it.
And Kevin's showing all this right now about this is when Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman were having their quarrels amongst each other last week, and Denny Hamlin just comes up behind him, and when they're doing the caution lap and just bumps him. He tried to pull him out. He's going to knock him around, because that's what happened to him. He thinks Alex did that to him on purpose. Well, you know what? I mean, here's the deal with me, and I guess that's the reason I'm probably not a NASCAR driver. Because if I was in there right now, this is the reason. Because if I was Kyle Busch right now, all these people who did me wrong out throughout the year, I'd be behind them. And if you were racing for a championship, guess what? You're not going to win it because I'm taking you out this week and I'm going to get you next week.
You'd be banned from racing.
Well,
Terry.
I might be, but that's
You'd be banned.
Well,
Terry
they
Reinhardt.
did it. They did it before. Denny Hamlin took out Chastain one time.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it happens.
I know it does, but it doesn't matter what you do. Somebody's going to be unhappy. But I like to see people figure out new ways to do things. And if I figure out a better way than you, then that's just tough as long as it's within the rules. But I mean, if what Kevin read to us there is true, that we're having tire issues and back end issues where it's coming loose. I mean, obviously for competition purposes.
Well, he said it's happened every race. I'm having a hard time understanding every race because I haven't seen that happen. I've seen a lot of them lose to back ends a few times, but not every race like this guy's trying to say. And he's been there more than I have, and I'm not touching knocking
he said
wood on him.
He said the reason they were coming out from behind was because of the Texas track configuration.
Yeah, and that really messed them up.
The limiter's the issue. Is that the speed and the angle? It's not as banked based. Basically, it's not as banked as it should be at that speed with the back end where it is.
Okay, and maybe that's what I'm thinking because I think of a
algebra.
Texas and a Michigan about the same.
Yeah, it's way more flatter.
Well,
Texas is close to Charlotte.
Yeah,
it's not Daytona Talladega at all. Speaking of Talladega, qualifying is today at 10:30. The Truck Series 12:30. Xfinity Series at 4 o'clock. Sunday, 2 o'clock. Race day, 1 o'clock coverage here on KTC. We've got Talladega Race and Terry. Is this, as far as the schedule goes, this is not the cutoff one, right?
No, it's next week.
So where's the cutoff one next week?
I think it's, ain't it the Oval next week?
Is next weekend the 9th? I guess it is.
Yeah, that's the third race.
Well, we might be at that in person, fellas. Hint, if y'all want to go see the Roval. That would Terry. I don't know if Terry will be pulling for Kyle Busch to wreck everybody in that one. He'll be out there.
I'd be going after Tyler Reddick. Would be number one on my list.
Tyler Reddick's number one on the list.
That's why
that's why I'm gonna go get him.
Nobody from Lincoln County can be in NASCAR because this man right here. Nobody from Lincoln County.
Tom.
Y'all are too vengeful, Terry.
Y'all.
You're too. Y'all are too vengeful. I'm just telling you. There's just to kind of give you an anecdote. There's a one, and I love her to death. She used to teach with us. She's over there with y'all now. And she is justifying her screaming at the officials every week because if they do a bad job, they deserve it. And I said, how? I said, that reminds me of something I would hear from Terry Reinhardt. Well, if you deserve it, you deserve to get yelled at. If you're terrible, you should get yelled at in an 8-year-old football game, Mr. Ref. And said on her last one that, yeah, I don't care. That ref smiled and waved at me on the way out. She knew who I was. I was like, hey, you're so spiteful and vengeful over there, Terry. Y'all need to lighten up over there. Be nice over there.
I don't know what happens to people when they walk into a ballpark and all of a sudden they hate the guy in the referee outfit.
I'm telling you, I've do it at a soccer game when you start hearing all these foreign accents start yelling at you because all the exchange students and kids from other countries, their parents screaming at you in different languages.
That you wouldn't know what to say.
I would never know what they were saying.
I know enough Spanish.
Appreciate it.
I know enough Spanish to know when I'm being cussed in Spanish, but I don't really say anything. Yeah.
All right. Talladega this weekend. Terry Wright, Bank of America next Sunday here at the Roval in Charlotte. That is the cutoff race for that. And then the next round is Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and they'll finish up in
Phoenix.
So
I just wish we could get I don't know. I'd love to see Talladega or Daytona be your last race.
Well,
what's the last race this year?
Phoenix.
But Terry, what says NASCAR more than
not Phoenix? Not Phoenix.
Phoenix.
No.
So I'll say this as far as
I'm always being turned down.
I know, Tom. Quit talking.
I did get called down in the Lincoln press box for being too loud.
Yeah, everybody telling you to be
That's
quiet.
right.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
He just can't.
Be quiet.
Can't
Shut
help
up.
himself again.
You shut up. What I do? Shut up.
Just listen to me.
Just listen.
Do not talk.
That's what happens when you let them Yankees in public.
I've only lived in North Carolina 40 years.
You did just use y'all a few minutes ago, like
I know.
it rolled right off
That's
your tongue.
it. Y'all.
I've been here too long.
All right, Terry. You were talking about that real quick. The Daytona finishing up. Now that is a playoff system the way it is, and if you're going to put random stuff in more than 2 people in the championship at the end, I will agree with you that I believe they should put Daytona at the end. It would just make it so much bigger. I think it would bring way more to the sport.
Think of this.
You'll have people that will come and watch it that wouldn't go to Phoenix. Like, do you have any celebrities at Phoenix? I'm
probably
sure
not. I know there's a couple come. Yeah, I mean, where you go, there can be some.
If you do Daytona in the championship,
I don't
see how I couldn't agree that would be the biggest show ever. I mean,
so you would book in Daytona, be the first and the last race.
Yeah. Or Talladega.
Terry would book once a month in Daytona if he could.
I would give everybody an opportunity, Tom.
First Sunday of every month is Daytona
everybody.
Week. Be quiet.
But can you imagine that race? Because if you're one of the four, if you're one of the 4 that's running for the championship, they'd probably have their own little 4-car file at the very back. Because we're not going to the front until the end.
I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like Talladega for that very reason, because the track is so big. They could just hide out on the other side of the track the whole time. Daytona, you can get caught like that kind of. That Talladega, there's too much. There's a lot of boring time. It's in the straightaways.
Oh, they are. You know they all line up together.
So I wouldn't want Talladega to be the end. I don't mind Talladega being a breaking point race instead of the Roval next week.
Talladega is not exciting unless you get a caution near the end.
Well, here's my deal.
Near the end,
I want to tell you something. Here's the problem with next week being a cutoff. Who is this good for? Elliott, Blaney, Reddick.
The guys at the
That's
top.
what I'm talking about. These road course drivers that are good
because they're coming
to the race.
Because they're coming to the Roval.
Yeah. Because they love this. Hey, this is a race that we know we can win.
Because it requires more skill, Terry, which for some reason you're against.
I'm not against that.
I can't remember which driver it was. It might have been Harvick. He commented that they were asking about how to fix or other changes to NASCAR, and his mention was, and this will lead to the question I was about to ask you, that all the races besides Daytona should be less than 500 miles. So with that said, wouldn't Talladega be more exciting at 300 miles or 350? Those fans that you don't sit there and take a nap during the middle of it.
No, not really. No, and the reason I say that because the race would be over so fast.
You need a time to drink beer and eat chicken anyway. That's the middle of the race.
Terry, that would still be 2.5 hours instead of 4. My point is that how at the end of the stages and at the end of the race, that race is a lot harder. I'm saying you condense that, and you have pack racing in a condensed mile race. You're going to be having more moving and shaking as opposed to riding in the back. Is my point on that.
Yeah, possibility.
Just restricted plate, maybe more than. I'm just talking Talladega. If you put Talladega at 300 miles and said, "Boys, here we go now," that not put a little more edge on the drivers, maybe.
Maybe.
All right, who's your favorite?
I didn't like Bristol this past while I'm on account. I mean, Kyle Busch was still in the running all the way up to about 10 laps to go or something when he finally fell behind. I mean, he was still in the running like 2 points ahead of everybody, and then he finally when a couple of the drivers that were out come back in, and that kind of bothered me because some of them should have stayed out. I mean, they even mentioned that on the show about, well, I'd have went over and paid this driver to stay out instead of him coming back on the track to see where he had finished, because then Kyle Busch would have made the cut if this guy wouldn't have come back, and because Wallace come back and finished ahead of Kyle Busch, which put him another step behind.
All right, who's your pick, Terry?
This week?
Talladega.
Here's where it goes, and I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna, because I know some of these other drivers. I'm gonna say Kevin Harvick is gonna win this week.
All right, Tom, you got a favorite?
I'll just go with my default pick, Kyle Larson.
I was just gonna say Cole Custer.
No, Cole Custer, he disappointed me this year.
You've already bumped him off and ain't been behind him at 1 year, Tom.
Terry, I'm not bumped him off. I'm just not picking him.
I'm going to pick him to win his second race of the year. In his second race at Petty Enterprises, yet they do good in the restrictor plates. Eric Jones this week is my pick at Talladega. All right, Terry, let's go through Thursday night football. Thursday night football scores this week. With the hurricane coming into town, we've had to play Thursday night, and we had 4 games ourselves. Bessemer City at Burns, Hendersonville at Chase, Crest at South Point, and our Lincoln County game of the week was Lincoln at Bandy's, and that turned into some craziness. But go ahead, Terry, let's go through the scores, and then we'll take a quick break and come back and do some quick go through the highlights real quick and do the scores one more time. And then we've got college football today, a big day in college football. We got a big day in NFL. We got to talk baseball home runs.
We got to talk Cleveland Indians.
Home runs. No, who?
That new team.
We got to talk current, Tom, not past.
Yeah.
Current.
That's it.
All right,
they're going to change the name back.
It was Burns having no trouble with Bessemer City, 62-6. It was Chase defeating Hendersonville, 35-16. Oh, Tom, I meant to tell you I'm going to do the left and you can do the right.
Thank you.
It was South Point over Crest, 35-13. North Iredale defeats North Lincoln, 30. Wrong. That can't be right.
Okay. So
Opposite.
What happened there is they switched home and away, and I updated the artwork, and I forgot to switch the score on that.
Yeah, it was North Lincoln 38, North Iredale 7.
For the folks watching, I know for the folks on the radio, for the folks who are on radio live, we're live every Saturday on YouTube. Go to KTC Broadcasting Channel on YouTube.
It was Maiden over West Caldwell, 52-0. It was Lincoln in defeating Bandy's, 43-34. It was Newton Conover 28, East Burke 20. It was Stuart Kramer 22, Hunter Huss 21. Ashbrook 37, North Gaston 14. It was Patton over East Rutherford 37-27. Polk County over RS Central 42-21. It was East Gaston 28, Thomas Jefferson 16. And Shelby over Highland Tech 76-0. And Bunker Hill over West Lincoln 35-34.
Okay, I could probably read the one on the board a little easier, Kevin, because I forgot my glasses this morning. Had a rough morning.
Terry, he's got one in front of him.
I know.
One in front of him. He's
got to reach over there.
I could still see far away for all the people yelling at me at games.
Yes,
I could still see far away.
Yeah.
Brian said he couldn't see far away, so I guess you guys were tag teaming. You had the far away, and he had the close up. Go ahead.
We made it work. Pine Lake Prep over Christ the King, 21-10. The Community School of Davidson defeats Carver, 42-16. It was Winston-Salem Prep over Mountain Island, 18-6. Statesville crushes Fred T. Ford, 49-13. Hickory defeats St. Stephen's, 42-28. Pretty good rivalry game there. It was High Brighton over Freedom, 36-20. East Lincoln blanks West Iredale, 50-0. Alexander gets by Ashe County, 28-21. Kings Mountain Big over Forest View, 48-7. Pisgah defeats Franklin defeats Pisgah. That's a big game up there, isn't it, Terry? That's a big rivalry game. 23-21 is Franklin over Pisgah. Drone continues their winning ways, Terry. 46-21. They say they got a good quarterback, arguably one of the best dual quarterback.
One of the top scoring teams in the North Carolina.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of points on the board. Watauga, 56-7, and I'm glad to see Watauga keeps winning because it makes Burns win over them look better come Max Preps where you seated time. West Henderson edges Smoky Mountain 23-21, and East Surrey defeats Wilkes Central 41-19.
All right, let's see if we can do this right, Tom. So Terry, you mentioned North Lincoln won, and so when they win, Tom, if you'll hit computer, let's see if this works without going crazy.
I'm no Hunter Yancey.
That is true. So Terry, they say when they win, they dance.
And I don't know if you know who this is. This is Mark Ludwig.
Here it is.
Doing the hitting the gritty up at North Lincoln with a win. So, listening up in Lincoln County, you know Mark, and Mark might be working right now. Mark, if you're listening, I got you on the live on YouTube right now doing the dance. Congratulations, you guys, Friday night on the big win. First win of the season, Tom, and it don't matter what your record is. Winning feels good, and you get that first win. And trust me, I've been on this end of seasons of we were 1-5. Anything feels good. And I'm guessing they had a great night Thursday night up in the Pumpkin Center.
Why is it called Pumpkin Center, Terry?
What time?
Where's the pumpkin patch?
Oh my God!
I've not seen where is the pumpkin patch?
Oh my Lord!
That's the wrong person.
He don't know. He don't know.
JP.
He don't know. I've been there many times.
I mean, I have been through there, and I don't have no idea why it's called Pumpkin
There's
Center.
no pumpkin
We'll be
patch
back.
there.
We'll be back in a minute. We got to take a break. Waiver break time. When we come back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang.
Oh, got to do my
are.
Hunter impression there. Want to remind our listeners that Saturday Morning Sports Talk is brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air. Give them a call, 704 487-7877. Check them out online, ShelbyHeating.com, for all your heating and air needs, Kevin.
All right.
Can I say something?
Oh, my Lord.
No.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say this. Every week I come in here and Tom arrives, and we all wonder why he keeps talking. But here a minute ago during our break, I found out why. Because one time he was having to go get pumpkins, and he had this great big old pumpkin in his hand. And he started running with it because he was trying to get to the finish line, I guess. I don't know what.
I was 5 years old.
Okay. And he dropped it. So they told him to go get another one, and he picked up this little small pumpkin when he had to come back. And after he got back over, Kevin, he was ridiculed by somebody after that because he had a little pumpkin. Now I've understood at his age that he's never forgot this. And see?
Is that why he's so angry? Is that why he became a teacher?
Well,
I have lots of questions.
That story was supposed to be an off-air story.
Well, I'm not.
That we say between breaks that we don't say on the air.
Well,
I guess
Tom,
he didn't care.
telling Terry was the first mistake.
Do you think he participates in school gossip, Tom?
I mean, it was an off-the-air anecdote that I didn't care to
Tom,
share
you never
on the air.
said, like, hey, don't say this to anybody.
Terry.
Well, I hope the
That
other
was kind of
records
implied,
said
Terry.
Here's a better question. Why does a man who's lived in Lincoln County his entire life not know why Pumpkin Center is called Pumpkin Center? Like,
I don't
if you
live
live
on that side
if you
of
live in
town.
Shelby, you know, if you live in Shelby, you know Shelby's named for Colonel Isaac Shelby. You just know that because you know
that.
stuff.
Well,
okay.
I know the answer to this question.
I just don't understand.
Now,
what is it?
Pumpkin Center got his name because somebody named Bergen said that his mother and grandmother were sitting around listening to an old phonograph, commonly known as a talking machine. And when they hit on a name for the new community, Bergen said the two were listening to Uncle Josh's song about a place called Pumpkin Center and decided that the name was perfect.
Well, there you go, Tom. See, I'd have never known that.
Settlers named it
I
Pumpkin
couldn't even
Center.
come close to say that if I'd have
The people who
guessed.
founded it, Tom,
Even though
named it after a song.
There's no pumpkins there.
Right.
Well,
But
they
we're going
are
to call
a
it Pumpkin Center, even though there's no pumpkins.
After a song they
Yeah,
heard.
it is
Okay.
called
So,
Pumpkin
now-
Center.
That makes perfect sense.
Now, before you get criticized, did you know there are no strawberries in Strawberry Fields Forever that John Lennon was talking about?
Well, that's John Lennon. I mean,
John Lennon and whoever this Bergen guy right there at each other and literally.
but see, Cherryville is because of the cherry trees, which actually exist here.
Yeah,
in Cherry.
Well, and then Washington cut them all down, and then the rest is history.
Holy cow! That was just
Teach that in your class.
But you would.
And then
think,
Lincoln came, Tom, and changed the name from Cherryville to Cherryville.
yeah.
Well, I'm
Now,
gonna tell you,
now
Tom.
you're up to date on local.
And like,
All I
on
want you
local
to do
history.
is, I know you're almost 50. If you
I
hadn't
am.
turned 50,
I'm
look,
getting there.
that's what I'm saying. But I need you to go find you a big pumpkin, and start running with it again. But just don't trip and fall this time.
I
okay?
know. I'm still.
you'll have
I mean, my.
This is what Pumpkin Center is.
kindergarten
It's
teacher.
Mark Ludwig doing the gritty. That's what Pumpkin Center is. Nothing's better than that.
They were never. Why? I guess to each his own. I just wouldn't do that on camera.
I was about to say, do you want to do it for us?
No.
I can see him doing this. I'm
I know.
with this
Well,
one.
yeah, you're watching it. What do you mean
I
you
am
can see
with
it?
this one. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I'm not with Mac Brown beating Appalachian State up at App and doing a dance after you beat them.
After you gave up 61.
Yeah.
You know what James
In
Mad-
regulation.
You know what James Madison did after he wrote pretty much the Virginia Plan, which is the model for the Constitution.
He beat
They
App-
beat
they beat
App
Appalachian.
State.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see what happened when the hurricane got to Middle Tennessee? It stopped.
Yeah, I saw that.
You get that,
Middle
Joe?
Tennessee. Yep.
Yeah, that's the big good one.
I tell you what, that guy that went down there, the guy from Oregon, he's wishing he stayed at Oregon now.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to go through some highlights here on the interweb for you folks watching. For you folks listening, you'll hear some screaming and yelling from the fans.
Do I need to hit computer?
And Terry, in just a moment, I just want to make sure that I'm where I want to be. I'm going to scroll back while everybody's watching me do that on the air. But anyway, Tom, you guys had Bessemer Friday night. Your thoughts on I know you didn't see. You guys are really good. Thoughts on the Jackets hanging in there early with the Bulldogs?
They do. I think the Holmes kid has got a great arm. I mean, he can really sling it. He just was running for his life a lot of the game.
If you had Burns or Shelby or Crest offensive line, how would Jameer Holmes be doing back there?
I'm telling you, he'd be doing a lot because he can throw it. He's big.
So that's one of the points that we used to make, Terry, as far as like in Cherville is like, okay, you can talk about this running back or this quarterback that you guys got, but if you take ours and put it with y'all's and ours, remember, whoever was playing quarterback for us, they were also going two ways, and you let him play one way at Crest.
Yeah,
you might see some difference.
That's true.
Holmes was playing D-line,
I know Wes is doing great, Terry, but traditionally Mason Avery running behind the Crest traditional line. I mean, and people not touching until second level or almost every play. Think about that, I mean, I know he does against some of these smaller schools, but it just in general, that's kind of the point we're trying to make there with some of these guys that. Yes, especially at quarterback time, you're running for your life back there. You're not just going back there and setting your feet and looking for a receiver. It's fun to watch Shelby play. It really is. I like seeing them in person.
They tried the Thomas Jefferson versus Shelby strategy, which is to run the football. Burns wouldn't let them do it. They knew coming out, even though Burns knew that Holmes had 10 touchdown passes in 2 games against the 1A competition. So they just they knew he was capable. But I think that Bessemer City didn't want to do that against Burns. They want to shorten that game. That's what you want to do, shorten it. They just couldn't. Burns wouldn't let them do it.
I don't think we've got the running game to do that anyway. In my stance on that, and with Terry, okay, so you tried that and you got beat 62-6. If you come out throwing and through whatever play,
you're going to get beat 62-6.
You might get 12 or 18.
Yeah,
you're going to have a DB mess up somewhere, get lax when you're up 40, 50, a backup or something. My point is, let's entertain the fans a little bit while we're selling hot dogs and getting concussions over here, as opposed to let's run the clock out. I hated that. I just hated it. Let's throw the ball a couple. Let me throw it. I'm down 40. The clock's going to run.
I want to say it was Rice Collins ran the kickoff back for their touchdown. I was pretty impressed with him.
Every pass was going to be down the sidelines.
Yeah, Terrence Smith.
You ain't cutting people across the middle.
Why?
When you're getting beat like that.
Why?
Because then somebody's going to get lit up.
Yeah.
That's you got to complete some slants.
Like Smith.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Smith and Duff and Holmes, they have a few athletes. Mm-hmm. They just don't have. I mean, when your quarterback is playing defensive line, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
That tells you all you need.
So, Tom, now.
Let's see if this works. There's West Lincoln and Bunker Hill coming out on the field over in Vail Friday night. Bears, 2,000 years, the Bears, I probably should proofread it. The Bears went exceeding signs. That kid got swallowed by that banner. Did you see that? The first one is. We'll go back to that. I'm going to follow the top. Remember the first person, you can't see his number. Goes right through the E, I think. And then the 23 year.
Yeah. He's wearing that.
Whoever was standing beside the kid holding the flag.
But the guy with the American flag let him finish it. Yeah, he let him home.
All right, South Point started off with a long run here, believe it or not, right up the middle. Tom, you ever seen this before?
Yeah, I was when that matchup. I didn't know if the Crest defense had enough to stop South Point's red bone, whatever they call it there. But that's a difficult offense to prepare for, man. And when you miss assignments, man, this is what you get. Yep. That's what happens when you miss assignments, and it's just tough. It's easy to say just stick to your assignment, but when you think that fullback's got the ball, you want to get in there and help stop him, and that's just what happens. You just get sucked in. And then there's a pitch to the outside, and then there he goes.
Mason Avery scored first for West Lincoln, made it 6-0. Terry took a hard hit from the backside. Yeah, middle linebacker on the backside here. He didn't get hurt or anything, did he?
No.
Okay. I don't think he ever saw him. He took him out. Whoop. Yeah. So give the ball to the referee and get out of there. Good job, Mason. It's made it 6-6. Bunker Hill going deep. Now, Terry, just like Bessemer last week, letting that kid score from 25 out, this one probably shouldn't have scored, should he? Besides the going up and getting the ball in double coverage, then the DBs all fell down. Boom.
They just went for the interception.
Yeah,
I mean, when you go for the interception, you're out of position to tackle.
Yeah. You got two there. One can go for the pick. Not two of you, right, Terry? One picks, one wait for the tackle or knockdown, whatever it is. But good toss up by the quarterback. It was about 35 yards there. Or just took it from him. All right, it's going the wrong way. This is the end of a play, the first play for Chase scoring. And the kid turned sideways, so I didn't even get his number to be even to guess if that was offense or defense. But Chase went up 7-0 early with the score. This is Mason Avery, 61 yards. This made it 18-6.
I like that. Look at him pulling away.
He can run.
Mm-hmm.
He's good, man.
Yeah.
Avery gets by, and he's out for 61 yards. Number 4 for Bunker Hill. I don't have the roster here in front of me. Mason didn't get it down. They go deep again. That's the same. Yeah. That was me retweeting. I went the wrong way, apparently, on the highlights. There we go. Now, little pass outside. Bunker Hill. Touchdown. Made it 14-14. 2-point conversion good. Then South Point scores to make it 14-7. Bunker Hill kicks a field goal here up at West Lincoln to make it 17-14. That was halftime score, right, Terry?
Yes.
Show it one more time. Don't have the young man's name. South Point going up 21-7 on this. Was that a pass play, Terry? South Point? Yeah, it was. And there's a little out or something.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. And those will get you because you never know when that's coming. And a lot of times when they make a pass play, it's most of the time complete. Nobody's looking for it.
Well, that, and I'll say this from a DV standpoint, you have to,
you got to play the run.
Right, so you pretty much got to commit 8. So you got your safety back there in the 2 corners there. 2 corners are, their main job is what I was told was I got to keep things inside of them. So if they run the option, I've probably got pitch man or at least turn them inside. So you've got to be aware of that what your receiver. You got to read what your receiver's doing those first couple steps and then react. And they if they pull it and something else happens, that's what you get. But when it's run right, it's hard to guard. Let's see, 14. No, that was the same. 14. How did I get back here? All right, Chase. Now I tell you, this is Derizma in the end zone. Watch this catch. Now watch this play. I'm gonna go full screen for the folks at home. Quarterback drops it. It bounces right back in his hands, Terry. Look at this. Catch. Whoop, whoop. Takes 2 steps. Tosses it up in the air with the man in his face. I guess he got hit. And then Derizma. Now, the defender and him, Terry, are both
the same length.
Yeah. I gotta reduce that for the folks watching at home. They are both a good 2 feet off the ground.
Sure.
I mean, this DB probably made maybe the most athletic play of his life, and it was a touchdown. He gave up.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have played it no better than what he played it.
Bounce, up, air. Got him. Wow. Just wow. And what's funny, Terry, I bet, I'm not going to bet, but maybe timing-wise, if the quarterback would have caught that clean and would have threw a low pass, that might have got knocked down instead of what happened and him having to avoid the tackle. Wow, what a play up there. This is Hendersonville scoring touchdown off the right side handoff. That made it 14-7, I believe is what that said. 21-13. Crest scores on a little pass there to Addison. I believe that's who that was. Mason Avery for another touchdown. This made it 21-17. This is plus 50 yards, Terry. The 2 touchdowns for Avery. Tom, I want to show you the Tavon Derizma touchdown quarterback miracle play right here. Watch the quarterback drops the ball, bounces straight up in his hands, pressure in his face, tosses it straight up in the air. Touchdown. Now, look how high both these kids got.
Yeah, they did get up there, didn't they?
Look at that. They're both at least 2 feet off the ground there in their pads. Just was talking about that.
To be young and athletic.
Let's talk about that DB made such an outstanding play and then got beat. 21-7. This is Hendersonville throwing the interception. Pick 6. No, not a pick six. A pick for the Trojans. Then they scored a few minutes later. South Point going up 35-13 on the Red Bone. It's a Louisville, the touchdown celebration afterwards. Mason Avery, 3.8 seconds in the second quarter, made it 28-17 here. So Avery, is that 4 touchdowns, Terry?
You run all over the place.
Hendersonville's number 1. That's who made that defensive play a minute ago. He's also the quarterback apparently.
Does Avery play defense too, Terry?
Some, yeah.
Okay.
Most of the guys on West Lincoln go double.
That's tough.
It is.
You'd hate, and that's another thing. You got your workhorse running back. You'd hate for you don't even want him to even waste any energy on defense if you wouldn't have to. But it's hard to take some of your best players off the field, though, isn't it? And then Chase winning at Hendersonville without Marquise Mahomes, or winning versus Hendersonville without Marquise Mahomes, Tom. So playing pretty good there.
I mean, beating pretty good without Mahomes. So of course, they've had a coaching change. That's always causes some issues. Henderson, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a city school. Mm-hmm. So I think what some people might do is just go on over to the county schools. If they feel, well, I can play over here. Wonder how much of that goes on up there.
West Henderson won last night, or Thursday night, 23-21, and then of course, Coach with the dance, and that was our highlights from Friday night. Did want to mention in the Lincoln game, Terry, I guess you heard about all that mess, Tom, that went down in that.
Oh.
Do you know the details of it, Tom? Real quick?
I do not.
Okay. So you know how they had refereeing issues the week before?
With the safety?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, it got real fun Friday. Right before halftime, and I may get a detail or two wrong, so if someone listened to it, please don't shoot me here. This is word of mouth from our announcer and me repeating what I remember, okay? Basically what happened, let's say 30 seconds left. Bandy's has the ball, and they take a knee, okay? Well, they start walking over towards the sideline, but they don't walk off the field. Apparently, the Lincoln folks thought that was into the half, and they were conceding the half, and they started walking off the field, and they had extra maybe players or coaches even on the field. Bandy's, with about whatever the play clock was about to run out, runs out onto the field and hikes the ball. And then it's chasing chickens with your heads cut off, scramble for Lincoln, and chasing the Trojans around the field because, Tom, it turns into the Stanford band play. So about an 80-yard touchdown fake play run off the field to DQ from taking your players off the field play to end the half. And then the referees take 5-ish, 10 minutes to try to figure out what the heck just happened. And if that's a touchdown, there were no flags on the field. But they didn't know if they needed to throw one, apparently. So they finally call a touchdown. Lincoln and folks lose their minds, obviously. And then, they had some talking with the refs. So then they line up for the extra point. Kick is good. I think it was 27-21 Bandies or something like that. And then, Tom, a fight breaks out. On the field, bench is cleared. Helmets are thrown. Punches are thrown. It's all witnessed by the fans and our radio announcers and everyone else at the field. No one, Tom, was ejected. No penalties. No nothing. They talked about it during the halftime. He said the referees never left the field, talked the whole. He said, David said, if you just listen to it, well, the referees have become part of the band's halftime show. They didn't even bother to move wherever they were, and talked about this the whole week. So they're at Bandy's.
Where were our guys? Our guys weren't.
We didn't have a video person up there. We just had one announcer,
okay.
David. He was doing the game on the internet for us.
Okay.
So he was broadcasting the game. So David was there broadcasting all this. So we're sitting there listening to it, trying to go to break, and like, we got to stay here for a while. And David's trying to explain what all was going on. So basically, you had a fake play, or whatever happened with the time, and then you had the lateral play, bands on the field, people's on the field, everybody's running around. He scores, no flags, no nothing. Then a 5-minute break for trying to figure out what happened. Then a fight on the field with no flags, no ejections, no nothing. And then they played the second half, in which Lincoln dominated.
They did.
And they pretty much shut down Bandy's the second half after all that. So Tom, that's the only game that we've done. That's the only game we've done this year that we didn't have a video guy there. We had 6 guys out this week.
Really?
Yeah, it was everybody. I'll read the names to you if you want me to. But everyone was out this week, so we were a little short-handed. So David was up there by himself doing the game. He didn't even get his camera up in time. But we assume that there will be some type of ejections, Terry and Tom, once the videos are reviewed. And if either of the teams or parents or someone claims there is no video of this incident, I would just claim that's highly unlikely and a big fat lie because every team records every second of everything nowadays. So I would think
they might not have videoed halftime though. They might not have videoed.
No, that wasn't halftime.
No, that wasn't halftime.
That was on the field during. That was still time on the clock. That was
they might
extra
have cut
point.
the cameras off.
Extra point.
I might have thought that was it when they started walking off the field. They took a knee.
Stop.
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
No, I know.
But there's someone pulled their camera up. I promise you, during the melee. But anyway, Tom, there was no ejections, no nothing. They just played football, and that brought us to a conversation real quick as far as football goes. And my idea that we've talked about over the years is football needs a penalty box for personal fouls. You can have 2 guys on the field, unless they're ejected, can sit there and punch each other in the face like I guess a hockey fight. We got a 15-yard penalty on you guys, a 15-yard penalty on you guys. None of that we're going to pretend none of that happened. Repeat, third down. It don't even go to the next down or penalty. There's no penalty to anybody. And so that's why it's just not it's a waste of time, a waste of what are we calling? So if you had something to they don't have to go sit in a box. I don't care about that. But again, if you get a personal foul, you're out the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Or 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. Everyone also asked, soccer fans, and of course David asked the other day, does that mean like in hockey you get a power play or soccer? I was like, no, because football you can't do that. But just take the guy off. You got backups. Take the guy off the field for whatever it is, and that would solve some of that, would it not? Like, hey, maybe I might not fight this guy, or maybe might not go head to head or head to face on something. I don't know. What do you think, Terry?
I just think I'm listening to Tom Crunch crackers. Chips. That's all
I was getting a snack.
He dropped that pumpkin again.
Was you too long? Did you stay too long at the casino last night, Tom?
It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week.
Oh my goodness!
I don't go to the casino. I don't have enough money.
They're penny slots.
I'm just
I don't
not
know.
going.
Yeah, they do have penny slots.
Oh my!
Put $1 in, you hit a penny at a time, Tom.
I guess
I can teach you.
I just don't have time for that.
You're right, Terry.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, real quick. Standings right now in Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A.
You're supposed to when you eat, you just do this. See now you can hear me.
Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A standings. Burns is 4-1 overall. East Gaston is 3-2. Shelby 3-3. Cherville Bessemer 2-4. Highland Tech and Thomas Jefferson hadn't won yet. Bunker Hill 5-0 in the South Fork 2A, 2-0 over in the conference. 4-1 overall is Maiden and West Lincoln. Maiden's 2-0 in the conference. Of course, they beat West. And then so Terry, that put you guys down probably. And where was you guys seated in the playoffs last year? Was you in the 20s?
Third.
Was it in the 20s, 2022, 27?
Yeah, and that's what we're looking at, But I mean, the guys have to understand. I mean, now you're in a tough situation because you cannot lose another one. And Newton Conover's not playing bad lately, and Lincoln is not playing bad lately.
No.
So those 2 teams that you still have coming that you're going to have to get through. So, you got to put your nails to the wheels, Muddy.
How many teams made the playoffs out of there last year?
3.
Just 3?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got work to do. You got to take care of Newton Conover and East Lincoln.
Well, no, I'm wrong. Lincoln didn't made it. Did they not? Didn't they have to play more?
Yeah, they made it at the end because they had that 4-game win
Yep.
streak and did squeak in like a 31 seed or whatever it was.
You've got to put your nails to the wheels.
Yes, Tom.
Whatever that would mean. I would just say you got to have the hammer down. You got to have you got to have it floored for the rest of the year. No,
Tom.
The nails to the wheels.
All right, I'm going to let y'all go over the rest of the standings for a few moments. I got to go do something down the hall, and then we're going to.
Tom, can you read those?
No, he definitely knows that.
No,
not those.
I'm going to let Terry do the standings, I guess. And then,
Terry can do the standings.
then-
I've got him here, but I probably can't.
Yeah, in
I'll
the
be
Big
back down
South
at home
3A,
just to
South Point leads the way now 6-0, 3-0. Kings Mountain, same spot at 6-0, 3-0. Crest comes in at 2-1. Forest View 2-1. Stuart Kramer 0-2. Ashbrook 1-2. Huss 0-2, and North Gaston 0-3.
I could do the
Okay.
Western Lakes.
There you go.
Got East Lincoln on top at 3-0.
Very
Hickory
good
coming.
spot.
Hickory's bouncing back a little bit this year.
Think of
They're
that.
2-1.
6 games, 27 points total given up.
That's pretty good. St. Stephen's 2-1. Statesville 1-1. North Lincoln 1-2. North Iredell 1-2. West Iredell 1-2. And Fred T. Ford 0-2.
In the Western Charters 1A Conference, Pine Lake Prep leads the way at 6-0, 3-0. Community School of Davidson second at 5-1, 3-0. Christ the King at 1-1. Winston-Salem Prep 1-1. Mountain Island Charter 0-3. Carver 1-2, and Bishop McGinnis 0-2 in that conference.
Bishop McGinnis is all the way like going to Greensboro.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's way out there.
Well, I mean, Carver's over that way too. So I mean, there's a lot of travel time there for some of these schools.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's difficult to get, fair 1A competition.
That's it.
Fair 1A competition stuff, so. And Kevin is back. We
Yeah,
got over
done
the
with that?
standing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
As directed.
Good job. All right, let's go over to the Powerball. The Powerball. Dun, dun, dun. Tom's favorite part of the show.
Not really.
So, such a sourpuss, Terry.
Well, actually, it's starting to look better at the top. The way
now, Terry. See, here we go. They get to complain for 6 weeks or 7 weeks, and here it is.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
I think Crest is a little overrated.
All right, unranked this week. I'll go through those. Number 39. All right, power poll for you folks listening and never heard this first time. You get points for victories and losses. You lose points. 4 points for a 4A victory, 3 for a 3, 2 for a 1, and 1 for a 1A. That's easy to remember. If you're losing, you lose 0 points for a 4A loss. You get I forgot to hit that button back at home for you folks watching online.
That's new. The losing points is new, isn't it?
No, it's always been.
No, that's always been.
You lose 4 for a 4A loss, 1 for a 3A loss, 2 for a 2A, and 3 points for a 3A loss.
You lose 0 for a 4A loss. You said you lose 4.
Okay. 0. Highland Tech minus 19 at 39. Thomas Jefferson minus 15 at 38. Ford minus 9 at 37. Minus 9 West Caldwell at 36. Minus 8 Patton at 35. Minus 8 East Rutherford at 34. Number 33 Bessemer City at minus 8. Number 32 North Gaston minus 7. Mountain Island at 31 minus 5. Cherryville minus 5 at 30. North Iredale minus 4 at 29. RS Central number 28 minus 4. East Burke and North Lincoln also minus 4. East Burke 27. North Lincoln 26. Top 25 now. Bandy's minus 1 at 25. Number 24 is West Iredale minus 1. Hunter Huss minus 1 at 23 on the tiebreakers. Lincoln, the only team with 1 point, is number 22. Stuart Kramer at number 21 with 2 power points. All right, Tom, I'll let you do 20 through 16 there.
20, we have the Ashbrook Green Wave. At number 19, the St. Stephen's. They're the Indians, correct?
Yes.
If I remember St. Stephen's.
No, they're the Guardians now.
Yeah, they could still be called. I'm not getting into that. Brevard, number 18. Shelby Golden Lions, number 17. That'll make Shannon happy. Number 16 are the East Gaston Warriors. Number 15, the Forest View Jaguars. Number 14, the Newton Conover Red Devils. Number 13, Polk County. I believe they're the Wolverines.
Yes.
12 is the West Lincoln Rebels. That'll make Terry happy. And 11, the Statesville Greyhounds. That rounds 11 through 20. And Terry, you'll finish it off.
Terry, real quick, as far as these goes, I can read this Southern Piedmont 1A standings and sit there and say Shelby's got the third best record. But if I say it on this sheet, people lose their minds.
You're correct.
Okay, go ahead.
You are correct. And Tom, I'm glad you listened to Kevin when he said do 20 through 16. But anyway, starting at number 10. Number 10.
Did he
made
go
an
on?
executive decision. I made an executive decision.
Okay, all right. At number 10, Crest at 4-2. Number 9 will be Hendersonville 5-2. Hickory at number 8 at 4-2. Burns is number 7 at 5-1, and Chase comes in at number 6 at 6-0.
Number 5, top 5. The Maiden Blue Devils, 12 power points on the season. They've only given up 93 on defense in 6 games. They are number 5. At number 4, now rest of our undefeateds, Bunker Hill, 6-0, 15 power points. Defense is a little leaky, 113 on defense. South Point Red Raiders, the big win the other night, 6-0, 15 power points, minus 67 on defense. You talk about that red bone offense all you want, Terry. When they have a good defense, that's when they're really tough to do, right?
Yes.
Number 2, Cleveland County fans, Kings Mountain. Mountaineers, 47 points in 6 games they've given up. That's pretty good, but is not as good as the East Lincoln Mustangs, who in 6 games, Tom, have given up 27 total points. Kings Mountain give up 26 in 1 game, if that gives you an idea. So 6 in 6 games, 27 points on defense. And Terry, we don't, David mentions it when he tries to gives them props to how good the defense is, but everybody talks about Mizell and the receivers and the running backs up there. And here they are, 27.6 games. No matter who you playing, that's pretty good, isn't it? That's
pretty darn good for them, for sure.
And East Lincoln is now 3A, correct?
Yes.
They're 3A.
East and North are the 3s now, and West and Lincoln in 2 over time. All right, we got to take a break there on high school. There's our high school football wrap-up. Is JP awake in there?
Yeah, he's awake.
I don't think he is.
Well,
JP.
See there?
He was doing sit-downs, not sit-ups. Well, how do you make your body do whatever you was doing in there? Is that yoga?
No, I'm just on my phone.
Oh, you're just doing up-downs. Yeah.
Do you know what an up-down is, JP?
No idea.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
You'll get more than a fair deal at Shelby Heated & Air. And to celebrate the return of the Cleveland County Fair, Shelby Heated & Air is now offering a fair service call special of just $55. That's right, get a heating system checkup service call for just $55. Also, get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated & Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your service appointment today. Shelby Heating & Air, online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Huzzah! Escape to the Renaissance Festival. Saturdays and Sundays, October 1st through November 20th. Presented by Pepsi. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments. Eat, drink, be merry. Sponsored by Harris Teeter. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. While supplies last. The Carolina Renaissance Festival is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals. For all your equipment rental needs. Equipment service guaranteed. Huzzah!
Y'all ready for this?
Keep up with this. KTC Broadcasting and WhatsUpShopper.com are giving away 3 $333 shopping sprees for a total of $999 in shopping sprees. All you have to do is register at one of our participating sponsors, including Classic Volkswagen on East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia, at Park for Family Feeds, Highway 18 North in Bellwood, at Carter Chevrolet, West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Bridges Hardware on West King Street in Kings Mountain, at the Falston Pharmacy, Highway 18 in Falston, at Cummings Furniture on West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain, at Butler's Tower on East King Street in Kings Mountain, at Family Auto, Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby, and at Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. The drawings will be held Friday, October 28th. See your local stores for details. Register today, sponsored by KTC Broadcasting and WhatsUpShopper.com.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
The green flag is in the air, and we're underway.
Playoffs continue.
Heavy body slamming action coming to the line between Justin Allgaier and Ty Gibbs.
At Talladega Superspeedway.
Side by side for second, Gibbs and Allgaier. Gregson's away by 2 car lengths. Here comes Gregson. He'll dive it into the bottom.
It's the Sparks 300.
Saturday, October 1st at 3:30 on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Home Folks Cafe is a family business that's celebrating 50 years. The best breakfast in town. Sausage, bacon, eggs, grits, and rice with gravy. Lunch, how about a cheeseburger? Dinner specials during the week. Wednesdays, spaghetti and chicken livers. Thursdays, they rotate meatloaf with salmon patties. Fridays is everybody's special. Prime rib, their world-famous fried chicken. And top that off with a slice of their homemade cakes. Home Folks Cafe is open Tuesday through Friday, 5 a.m. till 8 p.m., Saturdays, 5 a.m. until 1 p.m. 209 East Main Street, Cherryville. Call 704-435-9336. Check their menu out on Facebook at Home Folks.
When it's time to go fishing, go first to the Great Outdoors in Cherryville. Get a little free advice from Guy Aker.
Hey, Guy Aker at the Great Outdoors in Cherryville. Hey, if you need some depth finders, we got the best. We just got a new supply of Garmin's in, trolling motors. Come to the Great Outdoors. We'll put whatever you want on it, trolling motor and depth finder.
That's the Great Outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right behind McDonald's. Online at teamgreatoutdoors.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
We're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. And Terry decided to get some chips on the break, and he's ruffling.
He didn't do like I did and move his microphone away from the bag.
No, he did that on purpose.
There are also on-off buttons, right? Just right.
Yeah, there's on. Either one would have been fine, but just
remember which one Tom is, Terry. That way you can turn him off when you don't want to hear what he's saying.
I'm running the board, JP.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah, I'm running the board, JP. I just want to remind our listeners, Shelby Heating and Air bringing you Saturday morning sports talk. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com. Kevin and JP, I guess, somehow passed high school. I know he had to have PE at some point, right?
They never did an up-down.
Nope, didn't do an up-down. Well,
never heard of it.
Never heard of it. An up-down.
I was homeschooled throughout.
Oh, there we go.
You forgot about that, didn't you, Tom?
I did.
There you go. So there's your answer.
No up-downs. Well, up-downs are what you had to do in football practice when you screwed something up. Drop the pass, give me 10 up-downs.
Or the coach thinks you screwed something up.
Yeah, or the coach just had a bad day. He's mad at his wife.
Yes. That happens. So, quick announcement. The Cleveland County Fair is open today. It is open right now, in fact, for you folks out there, out and about. And they will have the Demolition Derby tonight as scheduled.
All right.
So, also, next announcement. 2 tickets, Virginia Tech at North Carolina. 2 tickets. Right now, if you want them, all you have to do is call the office. When JP picks up, tell him you love him. Okay? If you want to win 2 tickets to Virginia Tech at North Carolina, 704-435-2845. You need an email address. Do not call if you cannot go and you do or you do not have an email address. You need an email address to go and a smartphone. Do not call if you do not have a smartphone email address. Do not call if you cannot go. But it will be not raining today. Folks, I got some folks that didn't want to go. Tom said it was going to be too wet. Fair weather Tar Heel fans, you know how that goes. Terry, all right? Didn't want to go because it was going to rain.
I'm not saying a word.
Poor guys. It's not going to rain. But if you want 2 tickets, Virginia Tech at North Carolina, call right now and tell JP you love him, 704-435-2845. Virginia Tech and North Carolina. 3:30 kickoff today. 3:30 kickoff today. So you still got 2 hours to leave. You can leave right now if you want. You'll get the email on your smartphone, so you don't have to wait to get the tickets or come by the office or anything like that. You get the tickets emailed to you. So fair is on today, Tom. College football is on today, Tom. Are you excited about today? Are you excited about anything?
Yeah, I'm excited that Ohio State is going to Rutgers, and they're 40-point favorites, but that kind of makes me nervous. I don't think Rutgers is that bad, even though they did get trounced by
What
Iowa
makes you nervous about being a 40-point favorite?
Going on the road. Shiano was at Ohio State for a while. So, I mean, there's some things there.
Yeah,
you know, weird things happen. Things happen.
Big Ten. Yeah.
We're going.
Minnesota is the second best team in the Big Ten.
40-point favorites, Terry.
Yeah.
Minnesota might be better than Michigan. Minnesota's pretty good.
Okay.
So they won last week, though.
Yeah, well, they're undefeated. Maryland, and I think Maryland's a lot better than people think. So you down in the Big Ten? I don't know. I think Minnesota might beat Michigan. They might beat them. But I don't think they play them this year.
Okay.
I'd like to see it, though. I'd like to see Minnesota, Michigan this year. I think it'd be a good game.
Currently, if you pay attention to my playoffs, there they are, Tom.
Yeah, Michigan's not even in there, are they?
No, they are, because you've got to win your division to make my playoffs.
Yep.
If you cannot win your division, you will not be in the KTC Broadcasting playoffs, brought to you by Kevin Hastings. All right, so here's how you make the playoffs. In my system, if I was the czar of college football, you got to win your division if you're a Power 5 conference. That means East, West, however that goes, whatever division or conference you're in. Then if you're not in the Power Conference, the champion you get 5 of those. So you got 10 teams. The top 10 teams are the top 2 division winners from each of the Power 5 conferences. The 11th place team in the rankings will be the top independent team in the nation. Right now, it is Brigham Young and not Notre Dame. And then the last 5 spots will go to a group of 5. The best team or highest ranked team in the group 5 eventually it'll go to the champion of the group of 5 of each division. But right now, as the season goes, I give it to the highest ranked team in each one of those, and then put them in order. So you got a 16-team bracket for you folks listening on the radio. So when we say 1 through 16, it'll be the top 5 will be your conference champions. The next 5 will be conference second places in the Power 5. And again, 11 is your top independent, and then bottom 5 is your group of 5 champions. So if you're looking at there on YouTube, what we got here is it would be Western Kentucky at Georgia and Minnesota at Baylor in the 9 and 8 seeds. So you'd have 16 Western Kentucky at 1, 9 and 8 seed at Baylor, Tom. So your Minnesota Golden Gophers would have a chance to show the nation just how good they are.
I like them against Baylor.
Now, what the purist or old time Terry college football fans would say about this is that it doesn't get the 16 best teams in the nation. Well, that's not what this thing's about. This is about, to me, as an non-fan, Tom, someone who watches baseball or hockey or any other one, this is earning yourself into the tournament, just like you would in the NCAA basketball tournament, not a whatever somebody thinks you're good at. So if poor Michigan's might be ranked 4th in the nation or whatever they are, if they can't win the division, Tom, and even make your conference championship game, we've had this issue with Alabama getting in and getting in the Final Four. I don't think you should be in the playoffs, but this is how this goes. All right, that side of the bracket is there. That quadrant. The bottom left quadrant will be 12 Cincinnati at 5 Oklahoma State. Now, who's the top team now in the Big 12?
They're playing well too.
Cowboys
State's playing well. Yep.
Air Force, top team in their division now, or top ranked team. They got some votes this week. At number 4, Southern Cal. Terry's been on that bandwagon this year. Then James Madison, the 14 seed, is now technically, record-wise, they're not the top team in the conference, but they got votes this week after beating App. You know how the voters go, ooh, shiny object. You beat App. Let's give you some votes. So James Madison got a few votes this week. Texas A&M, Terry, they keep rising on up there.
Oh, they do.
That loss didn't happen, did it?
Never
happened.
Well,
never happened.
Well, I think the thing that really kills it is after you turn around and lose to James and Madison.
Well, that's true too, but still.
And you should have got beat by Troy.
And we talked last week about Kentucky being ranked 8th now after beating nobody, and all these other teams got way better resumes than Kentucky does, and just because you got that like SEC on.
James Madison next week, you'll have North Carolina State in that spot.
Y'all going to be first in the Sun Belt.
No, we're going to beat Clemson today.
When you beat Clemson, you'll take that spot.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right. Watch out, Tom.
For you ACC fans, they would beat Clemson. Now, Clemson is in the same spot. State's in the same spot. Michigan is, Terry. You got to win the division to get in the conference championship game, and you got one of the toughest or best teams in the nation in your division with Clemson. So you guys got to deal with that, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But next week, that may say, let's see, Coastal Carolina at NC State, Terry.
That might do that. It might.
Because Coastal Carolina's now on top of the Sun Belt by standings wise. Brigham Young and Alabama, Tom, would they have a chance?
Well, Alabama did struggle against Texas, but Texas has got a lot of 5-star talent on that team. Brigham Young who beat them? I know I picked them one game and somebody beat them. I don't know. I don't think they'd have a chance. Even though I think Alabama is beatable, but not by BYU.
But in the bottom, that would be 11 versus a 6 seed. Alabama would get the 6th spot in this tournament. Pittsburgh, the 10 at number 7. Utah, so Pitt would get the 2nd ACC spot. And then Toledo, the Rockets.
Who's already got 77 scored on them by Ohio.
It will be at Ohio State in the first round. So there you go, Tom.
They
nice
don't
little matchup.
They don't look very good defensively. Offense, their quarterback's actually pretty good, but defensively, they stunk up the joint.
All right, let's do some bad picks. Our bad picks. Well, I gotta get that. Make that bigger. How's that?
It's probably long this week.
Do what?
It's not really bad, Tom. Yeah, it was. In college, it was.
College, it took a beating.
Well, here it was. Shannon went 10-5. I went 9-6, and you was 8-7.
I knew that Wake Forest pick. I thought, man, it's going to come true, and then came up a little short.
It did. All right. Let's get that set. Tom, is the computer button pushed on yet? Go ahead.
There it is.
All right. And we'll see if this works right. Let's go. This is our picks for bad picks, NCAA style from last week.
Bad picks.
Got the wrong year on there.
Arkansas.
What I put?
24. 9/24/24.
Yeah.
Can you say Pig Suey?
I just typed the 24th in twice, didn't I?
What?
Can you say
Can
Pig
you say
Suey?
it? No, I don't know.
Okay, well, then you lost.
And you lost.
You lost.
You can't turn that up.
Texas A&M wins 23-21 over Arkansas.
This one, I'm going with the home team, Iowa State. Here's your, well, again, opportunity. Take it. Iowa State.
Baylor wins 31-24 over Iowa State.
So I think Vegas knows Arkansas State goes in and upset. Dang.
Arkansas State. I'm taking Old Dominion.
Old Dominion let me down last week.
They'll let you down. Well, they'll up you this week.
Shannon, ODU or Arkansas State?
Old Dominion wins 29-26 over Arkansas State.
Bad picks.
Nah, Michigan State.
In East Lansing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of high expectations.
That was a good one,
Minnesota's
guys.
been playing well, but to go into Michigan State,
Y'all choked an egg on this one.
I think Michigan State's going to feel a little disrespect. Of course, I said that last time, and they let me down. But Michigan State wins at home.
Minnesota wins 34-7 over Michigan State.
I mean, I'm telling you what, Notre Dame versus UNC, can they both lose? I mean, I don't know. I think Carolina will hold serve at home. I don't think Notre Dame. I mean, they lose to Marshall at home. Marshall's not bad. Marshall's a pretty good football team, but like I said, their quarterback play's not been good. I know they've tried a couple guys back there. They did get the win last week over California, but I think Carolina will win at home.
And that's what I'm taking. Also, Carolina. I don't think Notre Dame can score enough points. Play with them.
They scored 45.
45. Notre Dame
That's
wins
exactly right.
45-32 over North Carolina.
Nailed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Bad picks.
Shannon got that one
I'm going
right.
to go against Dorco. I think he's going to go into Winston-Salem and get beat. Hartman's back. Clemson's a little shaky. I think they're overrated. Give me the Deeks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Well, I don't think they're overrated if the right quarterback's in there. But he's going to go with DJ. I'm also going to take Wake Forest to beat Clemson at Wake Forest.
Terry.
Man, y'all making it real hard here.
Well, Terry's got
Clemson wins 51-45 over Wake Forest.
That's a chip.
Washington State at home. I like them. I don't like Oregon. So I'm picking Washington State.
Shannon.
I'm picking with Oregon. I think they're. I think they'll win. Why do you not like Oregon?
Well, they got crushed by Georgia. They have played
Because they
better.
beat Ohio State last year.
Is that wrong? Mm-hmm.
Oregon wins 44-41 over Washington State.
Bad picks.
All right, Appalachian, don't let me down.
Taking out.
Terry, they're up
Sober up,
28-3.
play well.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Coach.
You know, Appalachians let everybody
sorry.
stay in.
Too many
the game.
Shelby
Here's
people up
another
here.
One, hope it's not a miracle. I mean, you're up
James,
28-3. You got to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking James Madison.
Well,
I
look
don't think they can pull it out. Another.
Pull out a victory over James Madison. There we go. Old Dominion.
Okay, I'm taking help.
James Madison wins 32-28 over Appalachian State.
All right, so I'm going with the Texas Longhorns. Defeat the Red Raiders.
I mean, I like Texas in this game. I think Sarkisian's really got that program going in the right direction. And they're playing well. Could be a bit of a trap game, though, on the road against a rival. I mean, they're thinking maybe down the road they've got Baylor. They play divisions in that one. I know they've got to play Oklahoma. What if they've played Baylor as well? They're looking down there. I have to look that one up. I don't know offhand, but I think they might get caught with their eye off the ball today.
God, if I don't need to talk this long, I know I'd have picked off.
You did, didn't you?
No.
Look at you rolled your eyes right there.
Yeah.
God.
And I started laughing.
Tom, you talk, the more I want
Yeah.
He brought up every team but
Texas
to Texas Tech.
But I'm gonna tell you something though.
So you're accusing a major college coach of not knowing how to call a time.
Exactly.
Have you seen Matt Rule coach, Tom?
That's what I'm saying.
He's in the NFL.
I mean, there were chances that he could have stopped State or had opportunities in the game, but I just don't know whether he can do it. So I'm gonna say Texas goes in there and beats them.
I guess I'm saying.
Then he comes out with a win.
Texas Tech wins 37-34 over Texas.
Those are some bad picks.
There were so many close ones though.
Yeah, but I knew in that one, the more you kept talking, I should have went the opposite way.
Terry started shaking his head.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
kept talking and talking.
And I kept on. And what
Texas has got a lot of talent, Terry. They got a lot of talent. They should have won that game.
Well, maybe should have, but they didn't.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's have some college football picks for you folks. Let's see. We will start Michigan at Iowa. Hawkeyes, 10-point dogs, 3-1 at home, 66 degrees at Kinnick Stadium. That place will be rocking. Tommy.
I think Michigan's going to go in there and beat them. I think they've had their scare last week, so that woke them up a little bit. Maryland hanging with them for a good bit. I like Michigan in this game.
I also am predicting Michigan to go in there and win also.
Number 7 at number 14, and this is a voter's dream no matter what happens, Tom. They get to rank an SEC team in the top 10 next week.
Yeah, they do. And Kentucky's been playing good ball, and I haven't bought in yet, but I like Ole Miss at home. They're 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Well, here I go because I don't believe in them little kiddies. But here I am. I'm going to take Kentucky to win going on the road.
So you insult them, then pick them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do. Okay.
10-4.
Terry, have you graduated high school yet, Terry?
I have. I'm just wondering about Tom. I am. The more I sit here today, now that I know about the pumpkin, I'm good.
Some people, you just can't tell them anything.
Can't talk to him.
Can't talk to him.
He's so giddy.
He is.
That day. This might be the biggest day in NC State history, and he's giddy about it.
I know.
Just let him.
He's giddy about pumpkins and a bag of chips.
Oh, Lord. Oklahoma is at the Horny Frogs today. 5-point favorites, 18 at TCU and Fort Worth, Texas, 71 degrees. Tommy, who you got?
Oklahoma bounces back. That is a bad loss at Kansas State's not bad, but I think they bounce back.
And I'm also going to go with Oklahoma myself.
All righty. Texas Tech fell out of the top 25. This time they go to Kansas State, who just moved into the top 25. 3-1, Big 12. 7-point favorites at home is the Wildcats. $17. You can go to this game and enjoy a $65 weather.
This is a I don't know what to even say with this because Texas Tech, I don't believe in them, and they won last week, beat Texas. Kansas State finally gets a bid and be in the top 25. I think this might be too much for them. I'm going to say Texas Tech goes in there but knocks them off.
Tommy, Wildcats or Raiders?
Well, both these teams coming off big wins, right?
Yeah.
So Kansas State at home. Got to take the home team in this one. They're tough at home. K-State plays well at home.
Utah's 10-point favorites hosting Oregon State. Alabama is 17-point favorites at Arkansas. Tommy was scared of Rutgers being 40-point favorites today. I don't know what he's scared of.
They're 3-1.
they're going to get help from Matt Rule today? Is he going to call in help, drop some plays? He's going to put the running back 1 yard behind the quarterback.
You don't think Alabama can get beat by Arkansas?
It can happen.
Or either one of you going to pick
I
that?
mean, they're at Arkansas.
Are you going to pick them, Terry?
If
you'll pick them, we'll put them down.
No.
Please. No, he won't.
I was waiting for him to say pick. Or do we want to pick no pick suey from on that side of the table? All right, 2.5 point favorites. Got a good one here. 3:30 today in Waco, Texas. Oklahoma State, the Cowboys at the Baylor Bears in our power poll. It's the two top teams battling it out in the Big 12. Baylor's 2.5 point favorites. Terry.
This is simple. Oklahoma State, Baylor. I hadn't believed in them since Rule and them were there. All they do is score a bunch of points. Oklahoma State's defense will be too stout today.
After that ridiculous statement, I think I'm going with Baylor at home to defeat Oklahoma State. All they do is score a bunch of points. That's kind of how you win ball games, right, Terry?
Well, no, your defense has to show up every now and then.
All you do is score a bunch of points. Whatever.
All right. Well, then, with that, Florida State is 6.5 point favorites today at home, hosting the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in Tallahassee.
Yeah, their first 4-0 start in a long time, and emotional game for Wake Forest coming off that game. They got to go down to. They're gonna. Yeah, that's right. The hurricane didn't come through there, so I don't know. I like Wake Forest to go down there and upset
It's
them.
going to be 83 degrees and sunny in Tallahassee.
Yep.
You took Wake Forest?
I did.
Well, forget that, Tom. Florida State. Wake is coming back to where everybody thought they'd be. Florida State goes to 5-0 and 3-0 in the ACC.
They're coming back to where they thought they'd be. Terry, they took Clemson to double overtime.
Okay.
Is that where people thought they'd be?
Well, Wake Forest, they'll get beat today, and it'll be 2 losses in a row.
No. Criminals go down today.
All right, the Maroon Bowl. Stab your eyes out with the ugliest uniform contest of the week. Texas A&M at Mississippi State. I can't even look at the screen. The logos are so ugly. 3-1, Mississippi State, 4-point favorites. Tommy, who you got in this one?
Texas A&M will go in there and beat them. I don't know why Mississippi State's a 4-point favorite. They are 3-1, but they lost only conference game. What makes you think they're going to go in there and beat Texas A&M? Just because they got beat by App, I know that's humiliating, but I like them today.
Yeah, Texas A&M hadn't really showed me much. I mean, they lost to App. Really didn't show up to play, and they're having to go somewhere else on the road this week.
Didn't they beat Arkansas?
Yeah, just take Mississippi State as a winner.
All right.
There's the big
That's
one.
the game of the week. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's.
How many we got, Terry?
Yeah, how many do you got right now, sir?
7.
ACC action. We'll pull that up if the internet ever catches up. Virginia Tech at North Carolina. We have 2 tickets. Call and tell JP you love him. I will give them to you. 704-435-2845. It doesn't have the weather on this one for some reason. Tar Heels favored by 9 at home. Terry, the Hokies come in. Both these teams had more hope than this at one point. What you got on this one?
Well, this is a game I really can't. Holyfield and all them up at Virginia Tech. Can you stop a Carolina team that can score points? I mean, they gave up 45 last week, so you think Virginia Tech's going to score some points on their offense. But I also saw Virginia Tech lose to some people they shouldn't lose to already this year. So, Carolina, can they lose back-to-back games at home? I don't think so. I think Mac Brown will pull this one out. UNC.
Sorry, Terry. 63 degrees and cloudy today in Chapel Hill. 704-435-2845. If you want tickets to that game in Chapel Hill, Virginia Tech, North Carolina.
What time's the game?
JP, tell him you love him. 3:30. 704-435-2845. Got time to get down there and eat, get some lunch still. Give us a call. Tell JP you love him, and you'll win tickets to the Tar Heels game. Tommy, who you got?
I'm going to say, even though every time I pick them, they lose. Carolina. They should beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's had some bad losses this year.
Terry, I had a text that said that you picked Carolina to beat Notre Dame. You must be getting soft.
I know. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, somebody knows me pretty good. That's
Notre
for sure.
Shame.
Yeah.
Notre Shame.
So you're right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm picking them again this week.
Blue, that's what I was
what I'm
waiting for.
saying.
Blue Devils 2.5-point favorites over the Cavaliers. The Wahoos come down to Wallace Wade, Tommy, to the Blue Devils, beat the Cavs, or what goes on in this one?
Well, everybody expecting Duke, who's been playing well. Virginia not playing so well. I know they got thrashed by a Big Ten team. Give me Duke at home.
You taking Duke? Nah, Duke's come back down to earth now. Armstrong will go in there and light them up.
That's what you say every week.
That's what they
Virginia.
will.
You say that every week.
Well, Armstrong, man, he's a good quarterback, left-handed. That's not going to can fire it. They'll probably put up about 45 on them today.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Whenever he talks like that, I like it because that means he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Either way, somewhere in the last 30 seconds is getting clipped for next week. Wisconsin hosting the Illini of Illinois. 6.5-point favorites are the Badgers. Tommy, Big Ten, what you got?
Their defense looked pretty abysmal last week, but their running game's good. I think they'll be able to run the ball enough and get by Illinois, even though Illinois is very much improved this year.
Who are you taking?
That's Wisconsin. They're at home.
Yeah, I also saw them lose already this year at home. So Illinois goes in there and pulls off a win. Got a lot different this week, Tom. You're going to have to start picking some winners.
Yeah.
Spartans of Michigan State, who choked on an egg last week, go into Maryland today. College Park, Terrapins, 7.5-point favorites. Tickets, $10. Terry.
Yeah, this is that Big Ten, man. You never know who to pick over there. From Ohio State to Maryland to Michigan State to
You never
Indiana.
know to pick Ohio State.
That's what I'm saying.
Win.
None of them teams win.
You going to Rutgers today?
So, possibility I might. But Michigan State goes over to Maryland today and pulls off a win.
It shows what Terry knows. Maryland is going to hold serve at home. Michigan State has just been pitiful. Defensive side of the ball, Terry, they're not playing well. Maryland with a good offense, they can score points. They're going to beat Michigan State.
Hoosiers 3-1 at Cornhuskers 1-3. Cornhuskers favored by 5.5. Tommy.
Yeah, that is weird. And Cornhuskers without their coach, right?
Yeah, he's been gone now for a week.
In the Corn Belt Bowl here, I like Indiana.
Taking Indiana. Well, Nebraska pulls off a victory here since Tom took Indiana.
Whatever.
That's 12.
12.
12.
Well, 15.
And then we've got State Clemson.
That's coming up later, Tom. That's
so we need two more.
Two more. Mas. We're going over to the best conference in the nation, the Sun Belt.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Yeah, baby.
Look at that Georgia State. Plays people tough, and they're 0-4.
We're going to find something good in here. The Web is at Marshall today, Tom. Do they pull that upset off?
No.
They don't even have a spread for that one for you folks.
Nah, we ain't even going to pick
No, we're not. I was just showing it to you.
That would have probably been pretty easy.
We got the fighting beer bongers there. It's Coastal Carolina. Their favorites, 9.5 at home. We're not going to pick that one. Arkansas State.
No. Troy at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is in our playoff right now. We'll go with that one. Hilltoppers hosting the Trojans. Hilltoppers 5.5-point favorites right now.
I guess Western Kentucky, they're at home.
That's who I was taking to, Tom. Western Kentucky.
Liberty at Old Dominion. Liberty 3-1. ODU has been up and down. The 1 week they play good, next week not. Terry, who you going with in this
taking
one?
Liberty on the road. Old Dominion helped me out 1 week last week, but they'll not do it this week.
I can't pick Liberty. Old Dominion. They're at home. They've played good teams tough.
That's a loss.
Is that 14, Terry?
Yeah. That's 14. That's a loss, Tom.
14. Now the game of the week.
Clemson, 7-point favorites at home.
Go ahead and pick your boys, Terry. Be a homer.
Hosting the NC State Wolfpack. The winner will be the lead dog in that side of the conference. Matchup predictor has NC State as a 16% chance to win.
I ain't never seen our defense play heavy.
I seen their defense about give it away against East Carolina.
Over-under is 45.5. NC State averaging 36. I'll make this smaller for the folks at home real quick. NC State averaging 36. Clemson averaging 43 right now. So defense-wise, NC State giving up 11, which is what Terry was mentioning, and Clemson's giving up 21. So if I do those, Clemson gives up 22. State averages 36. So you guys should have 29. And then Clemson 12 and 44. So 16, 27, Terry. 2-point win today.
It will be.
According to that. 29-27
sure.
by the math. So
Well,
you agree?
I mean, they've got Clemson with 35, 36 game winning streak. You know, all big things must come to an end. And today it will down there. State's defense will hold them to almost nothing. If they score 20, they'll be lucky, but State will score more than that against them. So 20 points for Clemson, 27 for State. Leary, your league MVP preseason, pull it off at the end. State wins 27-20.
So a team that just put over 50 points last week is going to get held to nothing at home. Close to nothing.
You played Wake Forest.
Listen to what he said. They're going to be held close to nothing, but they'll get 20.
Tom, you played Wake Forest. They give up total points all week of 40.
All right, so
and they score 45.
So they're going to give up close to nothing, which is 20 points.
Go ahead and take Clemson. You just go ahead and take them.
I don't
take Dabo.
I don't want to take Dabo because I don't like him. And who's coaching the defense at Clemson now? Do you even know? Venables is at Oklahoma, so I don't know who's coaching the defense down there. But whoever is, I think Dabo probably didn't let him come out of his room and made sure that he stayed all week and had a good game plan against NC State. NC State notorious chokers in games like this. Like they beat Clemson last year, I think, when
we should have blown it.
Yeah.
And then we had another game against Clemson a few years back that we led and missed a field goal at the end that could have won it at Clemson.
See, but this one's for all the marbles. On those others, it was like, if we beat it, it's an upset. But this one is important.
Yeah, Dabo needs
and
this
important games don't count on NC State. Clemson wins at home because NC State will do what NC State does. They'll blow the game, Terry. I think they'll be in a position to win this game, and they'll find a way to lose.
Well, we tried that a few times. We tried that last year.
Apologies to all my staff. I know I got a lot of State fans out there, and my apologies to you. But
this right here is what I like to see on our poll. We picked 15, and we got 11 different ones.
Do we?
So somebody's going to look bad next week.
I'll be busy the next. Y'all both missed 5, but just all the different ones.
Yeah,
complete opposites of everything. It's either both. Yeah. All right. So those are your college football picks this week. I'm gonna play right now. Last week's bad NFL picks.
Let me do this for you.
What you got?
Last week's picks.
That was bad last week.
Yeah, this was not a good week for Tom or Kevin. Me and Shannon come out on top at 10-6. Tom was 7-9. Kevin 6-10 last week.
Yeah, it's been bad. So this is 2 weeks ago's, the ones we didn't get to play last week's bad picks. Then we're going to play a commercial, and we'll come back and do this week's picks and break down some NFL action. And then we got another bad pick segment to play. So we got 2 NFL bad pick segments. This is our picks from last week that we didn't get to. So here's our bad picks. Tom, you can go ahead and hit computer.
So you got 9, 17, 24.
I'm going to say it first before y'all do it. Colts.
Also taking the Colts. Tom also.
Yeah, Colts.
Okay.
Wow.
I didn't want to be the 4th one because I'd have to change my mind. I'm not picking Jacksonville.
Wait a minute, is it at Jacksonville?
Anything, dude. Yes.
I don't care where it's at.
Give me Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why would you change?
Come on, man.
You always take your first pick, and now you've changed.
I was just trying to
remember
be nice.
this next week. Put this on missed picks.
Well, somebody will be on it.
Jackson.
It'll be all 3 of us. It'll be Shannon.
Jaguar.
That's a loss.
He nailed it. Shannon really just likes Trevor Lawrence's hair.
Jaguars win 24-0 over the Colts.
Via me and Tom.
Appearance by Milton Baker. Okay. Eagles favored at home. I like the Vikings quarterback and running back better. I like Vikings better than I did the Eagles, but let's go with Vikings in this one on the road to pull off the upset. May miss both of those.
Eagles win 24-7 over the Vikings.
Bad picks.
I figured Tom would take the Browns. I'm taking the Steelers.
Browns win 29-17 over the Steelers.
And who's the Lions playing? No,
Commanders.
Commanders.
Both of you pick Commanders?
No.
You pick Commanders?
Tom picked the Lions. Shannon's picked the Lions.
I'm going Commanders.
Lions win 36-27 over the Commanders.
Guys?
And all of a sudden, Tom thinks on account Gino had a great game in game one that he's taking the Seahawks. Tom, this is where you lose. Seahawks for Tom, 49ers for me.
Well, I'm going to go with Tom, take the Seahawks.
49ers win 27-7 over the Seahawks.
Y'all pick the Seahawks.
Patriots favorites in Pittsburgh. Terry, what do you think about that?
No, that'll not happen. Steelers, Mike Tomlin does a good job with what he's got. He'll win again. I'm going to take the Steelers, and Tom also takes Steelers.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Definitely not going 4 across the board. Patriots, they haven't started 0-2 since Tom Brady's rookie season.
Patriots win 17-14 over the Steelers.
Because of his hand, but, you know, how I go with that. Ravens over the Dogs. How I showed you that, didn't I?
Yeah, that's the one we're on, and me and Tom both took the Ravens.
Yeah, Baltimore.
I'm going Ravens, too. I'm almost never going to pick 2.
Dolphins win 42-28 over the Ravens.
Cleveland. I mean, I know you can talk about Brissett all we want to, but
should be undefeated, Tom.
They're
no
really
kidding.
Strong, and I'm big on Cleveland right now with their run game.
Terrible.
And their defense.
So you're picking the Browns?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Cleveland.
Terry?
Tom picks the Browns, and I also pick the Browns.
Tom.
Yeah, that's probably the worst loss so far this year.
Worst loss in the history of the NFL.
However, Jacob Brissett those
that might be the
picks
Redskins
might
against
be
Dallas.
closer than it should be.
Jets win 31-30 over the Browns.
Bad picks.
Von Miller has made
I'm going to go Titans in this one.
Ooh, okay. Von Miller's.
Bills win 41-7 over the Titans.
Thought they'd show a little chest there.
I do.
God, Mose, they can't score.
They're playing.
There's already been
Giants win 19-16 over the
Carolina
Panthers.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We talked about last week how many teams he hadn't lost to, but he's not beat the Saints.
Shannon?
What I said a while ago, defense. I'm going with New Orleans at home.
2.5-point favorites are the Bucks on the road, Terry.
I'm trying to see who Tom picked. I'm taking the Saints. Myself, Tom takes the Bucks.
Is Jameis playing? Who quarterback is
yeah,
he? Yeah, he quarterback last week.
He did? Okay, I'll go Saints then to beat the Bucks as well.
Buccaneers win 21-10 over the Saints.
Bad picks.
I don't like either one of these. Raiders favored by 5.5.
Yes.
Give me the Raiders.
You took the Raiders. I took the Raiders. Tom takes the Cardinals.
Bears and Packers. I'll take Raiders on that one, Terry.
Okay.
Good pick.
Cardinals win 29-23 over the Raiders.
First time Murray showed up. No, I didn't say Bengals.
You said Cowboys.
I took Dallas. Tom took Cincinnati.
All right.
Cincinnati.
Shannon, I will take the Bengals as well on this one. Cooper Rush not winning his first
Y'all will
one.
learn.
The Bengals need
You're
one.
gonna learn.
Cowboys win 2017 over the Bengals.
Defense wins.
Bad picks.
All right, JP. Time to go.
When we come back. When we come back, there'll be more NFL talk on KTCBroadcasting.com.
You'll get more than a fair deal at Shelby Heated and Air. And to celebrate the return of the Cleveland County Fair, Shelby Heated and Air is now offering a fair service call special of just $55. That's right, get a heating system checkup service call for just $55. Also, get up to $750 with a special Shelby Heated and Air discount on qualifying systems. Call today at 704-487-7877 and schedule your service appointment today. Shelby Heating and Air, online at shelbyheating.com. See their page at whatsuppshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Bell will go to the apron. Now he'll cross over, go all the way to the fence. Logano throws the block. The battle's on.
Playoff round of 12 heats up.
Harvick's in the wall. Kevin Harvick will slide up and make contact with the outside wall.
At Talladega Superspeedway.
Bubba Wallace can see it now. He can virtually coast it in.
It's the Yellowwood 500.
Sunday afternoon, October 2nd at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL. 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com. It's time to take charge with the new Volkswagen ID.4 EV from Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia. It's the first electric SUV for everyone. Classic Volkswagen is a Carfax top-rated dealer and the winner of the 2022 Consumer Satisfaction Award. You can even buy online. And be sure to check out their selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit the website at classicvwgastonia.com. But better yet, drop by soon. 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. That's Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia. Do they have silver bells at Acre Enterprises? Nah. What about silver coins? Probably not. How about silver gabaloon? You better believe it, and plenty of it. Right now, 3x12 silver gabaloon is just $30 a sheet. Also, 21-foot and 26-foot silver gabaloon is available, along with 3x12 red sheets for $30. Don't forget about their quality-built carports. Compare before you buy. Acre Enterprises, 1220 Shelby Road, Highway 150 West in Cherryville, right across from Food Line. Online at acrecarports.com.
Mason Avery of West Lincoln High School is this month's McDonald's KTC Broadcasting WhatsUpShopper.com Scholar Athlete of the Month. Mason is a senior at West Lincoln High School and is the son of David and Abby Avery. Mason plays football and also plays baseball and wrestles. Mason has a 4.55 grade point average. His advanced courses include AP U.S. History, Literature, Government, and 8 Gaston College classes. Mason is a member of the National Honor Society, the Beta Club, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and is a North Carolina Scholar. He's a member of the Mount Vernon Baptist Church. He's also involved in West Lincoln Optimist Club and Top Dog Wrestling. After graduation, Mason plans to attend college and play football and study engineering. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting WhatsUpShopper.com Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
It's time to take charge with the new Volkswagen ID.4 EV from Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia. It's the first electric SUV for everyone. Classic Volkswagen is a Carfax top-rated dealer and the winner of the 2022 Consumer Satisfaction Award. You can even buy online. And be sure to check out their selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit the website at classicvwgastonia.com. But better yet, drop by soon. 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. That's Classic Volkswagen in Gastonia.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin the Game. You know, I'm kind of surprised Coach P hasn't called.
He took the weekend off there, JP.
Gotcha.
He didn't play, JP.
Shelby Heating and Air, bringing you Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Give them a call, 704-487-7877. Check them out online, shelbyheating.com.
How many ducks have you ever shot, JP? Not Nintendo.
Then none.
He was thinking about it too, wasn't he?
Well, I've shot quite a few when it came to Nintendo Wii, but apart
how
from
many
that,
duck calls have you ever blown on, JP?
None.
And you're wearing a Duck Commander shirt.
Yeah, well, I haven't got a duck call from them yet.
People would think something different of you walking around here in a Duck Commander camouflage shirt. There, might think you might. Blow
Of course, I've never shot
off.
a gun. Period. So
have you not?
No, I never have.
Have you shot a blaster?
Yes.
All right, Terry. NFL time. Got some stats for you. Last week we mentioned that Matt Rule was 1 and let's see, where did he go? 1-24 when the Panthers allow 17 points.
Yeah.
9-0 under 17. And Terry, they gave up 14 points. So
and
the
more.
streak continues.
Yeah.
If you want to beat the Panthers, you need 17 points. If you don't want to beat the Panthers, you better score less than 17 points. But who doesn't want to beat them?
That streak should have ended against the Browns, but he blew that game.
The random betting stat for the Panthers and Cardinals, for you degenerates: Arizona has won 7 straight games outright as road underdog. tied for the longest streak since 1970.
Arizona is an underdog at Carolina.
Panthers have lost 7 straight games outright as the favorite, tied for the longest, third longest streak since the merger. So the longest streak since 1970 and the third longest streak has to give between those two teams. So Panthers rule this week. He actually started a fire. He mentioned that the receivers could help out Baker Mayfield a little bit, Tom.
Yeah, I saw that. DJ Moore took offense.
And then that set off a fire.
Well, I don't blame you. So you see some of the passes Baker's trying to make them catch? Some of them's are completely over their head. It reminds me of Cam Newton.
Basically, in so many words, DJ Moore said, I am open.
Yeah.
You just don't throw me the ball.
Or it's
without
over my
saying
head.
Without saying that.
I'm going to say this to defend Baker on this point, and maybe Terry might back me up a little bit. 99% of the people who ask these questions have no idea what it takes or any bit what it is to play the quarterback position, much less in middle school, high school, college, or much less in NFL. DJ Moore should know just as good as any other wide receiver, and if he's saying he is open, then what they do, whether or not he's making bad throws is one thing. Saying you're open and not getting the ball is something completely different. And he knows just as well, he should know, that not every time you're open, Terry, at that exact moment, the quarterback has his feet planted, is looking at you, and ready to fire. A lot of people play this video games, Tom. It's called Madden, where you go back with your quarterback, and it doesn't matter. You can run around in a circle, but as long as you press the button, he's going to spin around, full speed, whatever it is, defy all physics, and throw a laser rocket to the receiver running his post down the sideline. That is not realistic. So receivers, I have never ran a play on offense and thrown a pass in any practice, game, intramural, anything, unless the pass was completed and it was a touchdown, that one of the receivers did not come back to the huddle and tell me he was open. You could throw a 75-yard pass, the guy gets tackled at the 2, the other guy's going to come back and say he would have scored if you would have thrown it to him. It is the most annoying thing in the world. Every receiver thinks he's open on every play because for a moment he is, but maybe you're open on the 3rd step when it's a 5-step drop, or you're open on the 9th step, whatever it is. It is so hard to be open at the right time when the quarterback's ready to throw. So I wanted to make that point. Now, with that said, Baker is inaccurate, and he has been his whole time. Looking at his yards, 220-something yards a game, or 250, that's that. That's that. And we've seen it, and there's a reason why they moved off of him to Deshaun Watson. Panthers fans, he's better than Sam Darnold. I don't know if Terry thinks so. But, again, we talked about this last week, Tom. We went through this list. I think 15 guys you could say is not winning the Super Bowl this year. I mean, they're just not.
Yeah.
I mean, how many good quarterbacks we got, guys?
I'd say probably you maybe go 12.
I would have been less than that.
I mean, I'd probably go 12, and that's max.
Like, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks through here. Say yes or no, just one at a time. We'll go back and forth. Mahomes.
Yes.
Stafford.
Yes.
Josh Allen.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins.
No.
He's pretty good.
He's decent,
Terry,
but he wouldn't.
Then Thomas rotate.
Okay.
Terry, Kirk Cousins.
No.
Aaron
Yes.
Rodgers.
Oh, me. Yes.
Tom Brady. Terry.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts, Tom.
No.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Jacoby Brissett.
No.
Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Whoever's backing up to
No.
Teddy Bridgewater. Trevor Lawrence. Cooper Rush.
Mine's Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Terry, this year you're not winning
I
Super Bowl
know,
with Cooper Rush. Daniel Jones.
No.
Josh Herbert.
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
Yes.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Matt Ryan.
Yes.
So no.
Mac Jones.
No.
Ryan Tannehill.
No.
Jameis Winston.
No.
I'm going to ask Terry because I know Tom will say something silly. Kyler Murray, Terry.
No.
Mitch Trubisky, Tom. I wasn't going to give you a
No.
chance to say nothing stupid there.
No. All I'm going to say is Kyler Murray can win a Super Bowl. Yes, he can.
Marcus Mariota, Tom.
No.
Terry, I'll ask you this one. The kid from Ohio State who's in
Fields.
Chicago.
Fields.
Josh
No.
Dobbs.
No. No.
Carson Wentz, Tom.
At one time, yes, but now no.
Baker Mayfield, Terry.
No.
Derek Carr.
Tweener. Tweener.
I need a yes.
No.
Yes. Geno Smith.
No.
Davis Mills.
No.
Joe Flacco at one time.
Yes, at one time.
And Jared Goff.
One time.
We got to 9 sure's.
You know.
There's 14 teams going to make the playoff, guys.
And there's
right
like
now,
3 or 4 iffies.
Right now, these are the quarterbacks in the playoffs. Daniel Jones, Cooper Rush, Trevor Lawrence, Teddy Bridgewater, Jacoby Brissett. That's what I mean. The top 5 or 7. We named 4 of the 5 or 6. They're in the top 8.
Now, as long as Jacoby doesn't have to throw the ball more than 15 yards, he's pretty good.
I'm talking about, you know what
He's consistent.
I was naming these guys to win the Super Bowl this year.
He's only thrown 1 pick, and that's when he was in desperation mode against the Jets.
I mean, that one game for y'all, when y'all lost it, he was like 21 out of 27.
Yeah, in the
He
stat
didn't hurt
sheet,
you.
yeah, the pick's going to show. But he
That's the
doesn't.
same thing Cooper Rush is. He's not going to hurt us.
Saints. Dogs at home to the Vikings. 3 points. That's kind of weird.
Vikes. I like it.
Terry?
This is Saints. This is do or die. You can't go to 1-3 and have a chance at anything.
It is do or die, and they're going to die.
No, I'm going to take the Saints.
You do realize Drew Brees and
Well,
not there. The coach isn't there anymore.
I know that.
Sean Payton's not there.
Tom just made a good point, which was exactly the point. And the reason I say that was because that's what I was going to say. This isn't Breeze. This isn't Winston. I think with Michael Thomas isn't playing this week, but I believe with, let's say this, Terry, you got Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry. Any of these beating you deep? Are they not slant guys, possession receivers? Right. So would Andy Dalton not be a better quarterback for those wide receivers than Jameis Winston? I'm not saying I don't think Jameis should be a starter. I'm saying Jameis would be better in Miami with those guys that can go deep as opposed to being in New Orleans
so
throwing
many
slants
games,
to Michael
though.
Thomas and the other kid.
Just remember, Cousins has went in there to try to beat the Saints before and can't do it before.
Well, Cousins is not good on the road.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he'll do it here.
I'm going to go. Is Bridgewater starting or they're talking about? I mean, they're talking about benching. No. Winston is hurt. This game's in London. Thomas didn't make it. This is at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, and Andy Dalton is starting in London. This is not in the Superdome, Terry. This is in London. So I'm going Andy Dalton to win, not Kirk Cousins flying to another country and winning.
That's what I'm doing.
You going to the Saints?
I'm still staying with Saints.
Whatever. You guys have the stupidest logic. Andy Dalton. Let's go with Andy Dalton because he's a miracle worker.
The Red Rocket's pretty accurate. You seen him throw yards in the backyard, throw passes in the backyard of his kids, man.
Whatever.
1 point favorites, Tom. Is that good? Is that right? In Atlanta?
Well,
the Brownies?
The reason why there's only 2 teams that have scored like 25 points a game every game. It's the Browns and the Falcons. Both of these teams, both defensive ends out for the Browns. That's why it's a 1 point spread. Plus, you've got some other injuries for the Browns. It's going to be tough. I'm going to be a homer and pick the Browns, but this has the likelihood of being a shootout if Jacoby can give us another good game like he has the last couple games.
I think the key on this one is, like you said, in Terry, as long as Jacoby don't throw picks, they're going to be in every game. Now, your defensive...
We're starting 2 rookies. 2 rookies.
Here's the thing, though.
Defensive ends.
Can the Falcons stop Nick Chubb on turf?
I don't know.
Like, he's about to get 150 yards.
If they give it to him.
If they give him the ball.
They're going to give him the ball.
So, and then you got Kareem Hunt out there. I think the running game for the Browns in Atlanta will be too much. I go Browns on this one, Terry.
Okay. You got the Browns, and I'm taking the Falcons. Tell everybody that I've picked them 2 games, all of them 4 teams will be 2-2 after this week.
All right. Commanders in Dallas. Terry, is this still a rivalry now?
Not lately. Since Dak's come along. He's only lost to them 1 time, but he's not out there tomorrow.
Well, I mean, in general, it's not Cowboys and Redskins anymore.
It's a 1 o'clock game in Dallas. They never do that, man.
Oh, yeah.
They almost never do that.
It's
noon. It'll be noon Central Time.
It's an admiral, a commander of a ship now against the cow. It's not Cowboys and Indians anymore, Redskins anymore, Terry. Y'all have dominated. Yeah. Is it time to redo the divisions?
No. Leave them in there with us. We like them being there.
The most
That's
illogical geographical division in the history of sports. Tom, you got Cowboys or Commanders?
Cowboys at home.
Terry?
Mine's Cowboys.
Y'all
You know that.
ain't going with Carson Wentz in this
You
one?
got Dallas's defense eat him alive. He got sacked 6 times last week. I can't hate to see how many times he gets rocked this week.
I almost want to change my pick after that stupidity.
Every time we've made, though, any type of logic, we'll talk about that in a little bit, it's not worked out. I'm going Cowboys on that one, too. All right. Game in hell this week, guys. Game in hell this week.
Lions playing decent. Seahawks with the one big win, but Denver didn't turn out to be that good.
Seahawks and Lions in Detroit this week. Lions favored by 3.5. Terry, what you got?
I got Goff making the Lions 2-2 on the year. That's what I got him.
I like the Lions at home.
I have a rule to never pick the Lions. But the Seahawks are terrible, and we have said 4 seasons they might go 1-17. Give me the Lions at home. I think Dan Campbell rah-rahs this one to a victory. That one just tastes bad saying that out loud. I don't think I've picked the Lions to win a game time in 6 years.
I don't think you have either.
Titans at Colts. Colts favored by 3.5 in Lucas Oil. Colts, this is the one we talk about. You tie the Texans, then you lose to somebody else that's garbage. And then next week, now they got shut out by Jacksonville 24-0. And then the next week, 2 people on the panel pick them to beat the Chiefs.
That's it.
And me and Tom look
right.
at each other like, that makes no sense. There's nothing y'all could have said that made any sense on that. And y'all were right. So when I look at my record, you say I'm 6-10. I'm like, y'all picked the Colts to win that game. Yeah. How could I be good? How could I have a good record? Jeez. Colts hosting the Titans, Tommy.
These two teams both not playing the best ball. Give me the Colts at home.
That's simple for me. I took the Colts. Matt Ryan's finally understood what it takes to win in Indianapolis. And I mean, it takes a new quarterback, a few games to get into glue. He can go through all the practices he wants to, but until you play games and people start understanding and he gets his timing right, Matt Ryan, I mean, he'll win this one.
Do you understand that, Tom?
No, I don't understand what getting the glue is.
Yeah,
I think it means is the playbook is sticking. I think that's what he means. Is like
I'm not trying to interpret.
Get in the glue. I mean, it just seemed like I got little mouse traps where they get into glue and it kills them. You know, so I don't know if that's the best analogy there. I like it when that mouse gets in the glue because then I got him.
I need an intern so we can cut all of Terry's stuff. I ain't got time to do this each week, but I need somebody to come in. Speaking of which, still don't have anybody want to take us to that North Carolina Virginia Tech game. Call Terry JP right now, 704-435-2845, and tell him you love him. Bears at
did you pick one?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Colts at home. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Bears at Giants. Another game with this might be the worst quarterback played game of the week. Giants favored by 3 in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's the New Jersey Giants and the Jets. Tommy, what you got?
Bears.
Well, the Giants got a little chippy last week after they thought they were supposed to beat the Cowboys, and they didn't do that. So the Bears go in there and put them back where they're supposed to be in the bottom.
I'm going Giants on this one. Giants win. Duke quarterback versus Ohio State quarterback. This is like, I'll go Giants at home on this. So I'll put my faith in Saquon Barkley. I can't believe I said that out loud, but anyway. Jaguars go to the Eagles.
Oh, interesting game.
EAGLES. Eagles for me. They've moved to 4-0.
Yeah, I like the Eagles at home. Even though Jaguars playing good ball.
Their defense is a lot better than a lot of people are giving them credit for right now. But can you go into Philadelphia and make them look bad? I mean, they made Herbert look terrible last week, but he was hurt. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to take the Jaguars.
The most improved thing about them, Terry, is their coach.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
And it got their defense believing they can play.
Well, they shut out Indianapolis. Yeah, once you do that, I'm kind of sold on you.
Well,
being
my Lord, last week they took
San
Diego. I mean, the Chargers and almost didn't give them anything.
I mean, their defense has shown enough they're going to Now, you got so many mediocre quarterbacks that, like we're talking, you got 20 guys that were. These are almost coin flips on. Better pick the D instead of picking. You used to pick who had the best quarterback. You better look at the defense they're playing each week, because that's what's been coming through. You know, they changed all these rules to have more points, and it's been less this year. Jets at Steelers. Talking about bad quarterback play. Who's paying $77 to see Flacco versus Trubisky this week, Terry?
Steelers.
Yeah, they'll find a way to win this one. I mean, that's the difference between the Steelers and the Jets. The Steelers won't lose to the Jets like the Browns will.
Hey, I ain't got nothing to lose. Jets, Jets. Let's go with this one.
Just end the season.
Yeah. Here's your good game.
Bills at Ravens. Ravens, it seems like no matter what game they play, it's going to be a down to the end type of game, craziness. Bills, 2-1 now on the season, getting their first loss. 2-1 Ravens. Who you got, Terry?
I've got Lamar Jackson pulling off a win here, telling the Bills you might want to rethink your season.
I don't know about that. I don't know about the Bills rethinking their season. That's beyond stupid. I think the Bills' offense will be too much. Ravens hadn't played very good defense. That's usually what they're known for. That Miami game sticks out in my mind.
That's why I'm going to stick with the Bills on this one, and the reason why is
I like you act the Bills like they haven't give up points.
I like the
Terry's 21-19.
Tua lit them up
last week. Terry, you picked the Bills.
They scored 21
based
points
on Von Miller and their defense. We just played the video.
Oh my lordy!
They scored 21 points.
We just played the video. But anyway, what I was going to say is, against running quarterbacks, you need good defensive ends to contain them. They do have that now in Buffalo, so I'm going to go with the Bills for the win on this one. Chargers at Texans. Which one of y'all is going to pick Davis Mills? Is Herbert starting?
Yeah, he should start. He's still hurt, guys. He can't play. He can't move. But, I mean, Lord, I mean, we talked about the AFC West being the stoutest thing. There might be the worst division, because none of them teams over there are as good as what people thought they would be. I got Houston pulling off an upset here.
Chargers.
Chargers. Houston might go 0-16-1. Cardinals and Panthers. We talked about that betting line earlier, how the Panthers have won 7 straight. Or won 7 straight as the favorites, or lost 7.
Wrong.
I can't remember. I lost 7 straight as the favorites. Cardinals won, whatever. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Cardinals at Panthers this week. Tom's favorite player, Kyler Murray, is going to get his mom's favorite player, Baker Mayfield. Tom, who you got?
Cardinals. The Baker chaos will continue.
Are you going to go watch this game with your mom?
No, but she does want the Detroit tickets. I meant to ask you that.
Yeah.
Have you given them away yet?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
All righty. Well, here's the game. I mean, Murray's for them and Baker's for the other one. Neither one of them are any good. So who do you take? I guess I'm just going to stick with the scenario. I guess the Cardinals will continue their streak because you're playing the Panthers. So give me the Cardinals.
Cardinals for the win. Should be better than the Panthers. Should be. Patriots at Packers. No Tom Brady in this one. 9.5-point favorites. Packers in Greenbow. Tommy?
Even though they're having a hard time scoring points, give me the Packers.
That's me, Green Bay.
Packers at home for me. AFC West, Terriers, what you talking about? Broncos, I think you did too, and I can't remember what I did. Picked the Broncos to make the playoffs. Started off rough, 2-1 now. Last week, I wanted to read this headline, guys. Here's how the magic of winning a football game can do to you. Russell Wilson's magic returns, an improbable 11-10 win over the 49ers.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Russell
he did it.
Wilson's
like he
magic,
did it.
And then
He did nothing.
11-point win.
11-10.
We scored 11 points and got the W, and the headline is Russell Wilson. If you're Richard Sherman right now would be losing his mind if that was Seattle. But again, we these quarterbacks can score 30, 40 points and lose, and we'll be like, you throw a pick, and then you turn around like this and be like, 11 points. Good job. Great win there, Terry. But anyway, Bucks at Raiders, Terry. What you got on this? The Raiders get their first victory.
No, they don't get their first victory. They don't even know who Adams is. Carl's thrown to him millions of times, but now when he gets there, we don't give him the ball, Denver goes in there and wins.
I like the Raiders at home. Think they get a win. The Broncos.
It's tough to go 0-4 on a decent team. A lot of people thought the Raiders were decent. I'll pick the Raiders at home to win this one in the spaceship. Chiefs at Buccaneers. Odds are even. Mike Evans is back for this game in Tampa Bay. Repeat of Super Bowl matchup a few years back. Terry, what you got on this?
Chiefs pull this one out on the road.
I think so too. Buccaneers still have some injuries on the offensive side of the ball, and they're having a hard time scoring points.
They are. I'm going to go Bucks on this one, though. Tough to beat Tom at home in Tampa. Rams at 49ers. Monday Night Football. San Francisco's favored by 1.5 now that Garoppolo's back. They said he didn't even, Tom, they were so far at a point of getting him out of the building. He doesn't even know the plays. They didn't give him a playbook. They wanted him out. They didn't give him a playbook, Terry. He was just standing there basically the whole offseason.
He knows all the playbooks that they need to run.
Well, he does now. You got Rams or 49ers?
There's no doubt. Since Garoppolo's their leader, 49ers will win.
I don't buy it just yet. I like the Rams. They've looked improved in their last couple games.
That's a loss.
Whatever.
Whatever. I was going to go 49ers, and now Terry's got me scared over with that. We'll go 49ers, though, anyway. Thursday Night Football, final pick of the day. Colts at Broncos. Broncos and Colts. That'd be a fun little matchup to watch. I would believe that'd be a good game to watch.
Two underachieving teams, but Broncos at home.
Yeah, I've also got Broncos since they're playing at home.
One little stat I did want to show you. Baseball.
Which one do you want?
Oh, I'm sorry. Broncos at home.
Okay.
We didn't talk about baseball, and the Guardians won the.
I'm proud of you. Seattle also made the playoffs, Tom.
They're going down. They're going to play Cleveland.
What is that? All right, we got just a minute real quick on that. This is the stat that I like to pull up all the time when people talk about home runs, and Terry's talking about home run hitters and what you call them. This is home runs per at bat all time.
He's only showing it because Mark McGuire's at the top of the list.
Yes.
And he did steroids.
No, I'm good with this. Okay. It's exactly how it is.
What's the problem, Tom? Are you saying
he cheated
that Aaron Judge has never taken any he's done nothing but eat chicken and ribs his whole life. No creatine, no protein powders, none of that his whole life.
Protein powder is different from roids.
I'm just asking. The name is what? Performance enhancing drugs? Now, with that said, did Barry Bonds break any rules, Terry?
No.
Did Mark McGwire break any rules?
That's what it says, no.
Did Jose Canseco break any rules? Did A-Rod? No. Did David Ortiz? Nobody ever talks about David Ortiz and his 100% get in the – we got a DH get in the Hall of Fame. Now, with all that said, this is your home runs per at bat. McGwire, 10.6 at bats per home run, the best all time. Babe Ruth is second, 11.7. So the gap between McGwire and Ruth is a whole 1.1. The next gap to get to that would be down to Bonds. So Aaron Judge is sitting there at 3, guys. So you're talking about home runs. He's 30 years old. He's played 7 years. 11.97 at bats. Bonds was 12.92. Jim Tomey.
Yep.
Everybody forgets about him in these top 10 lists. He's top 10 home runs. 13.96. Stanton is 6th. Ralph Kiner 7th. Kyle Schwarber is 8th. Harmon Calabro 9th, and Sammy Sosa 10th. And everyone's hero Mike Trout 11th. Ted Williams, Manny Ramirez, Adam Dunn, Ryan Howard are your top 15. So there's your all-time. Canseco came in at 23 at 5th. Those are about 15 points. But the best are under 15. Top 10 are under 15. Top 15 are under 15 at bats. You get a home run. So with that said, you get a 3-game series time. You go see the Cardinals, 10 at bats. McGwire, you're going to see a home run. I mean, you're going to see one go out. All right, guys. Judge hit it. Has he got 62 yet?
61.
No, 61 still.
All right. So he's going to he could get the American League record.
Yeah.
Obviously, there with the Yankees. So, all right, guys. We'll see you next week. I'm going to play this for the folks online, the Bad Picks segment, as we go away. But we're not going to play it for the folks on radio. We got to get off here. So any other comments, concerns, or anything, Tom, for next week?
Nope.
This week?
Nope. Ready to go.
All right, JP.
Thank you, Shelby Heating and Air.
Play us away on the radio for the folks online. I'm going to play last week's bad picks. The only reason I didn't play it, guys, is it was 7 minutes long. That's how bad we did last week. There was some funny stuff on here, though. There was some funny stuff. All right, we'll see you next week on KDC Broadcast.
Come on. It didn't have nothing.
Murray.
It had nothing to do with Kyler Murray.
Did you watch the end of the game where Kyler Murray tied that game up?
He's terrible.
You're out of here.
He should have went baseball.
Terry,
He is
Alcoholics Anonymous, check it out.
As long,
I mean, it's just
as long as the Cardinals have Kyler Murray at quarterback, they will not win a Super Bowl.
No.
Kyler Murray was fabulous in that fourth quarter to bring them back.
He's a cute little player.
Okay, so he
Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals over Pizza Boy. Pizza Boy's going down.
You can probe him into making a bad pick.
Lordy.
Pizza Boy's going down.
You can probe him into making a bad
I'm
pick.
taking the Rams.
Rams win 20-12 over the Cardinals.
All your bad friends who ended up in hell this week, they get to watch the Falcons and the Seahawks tomorrow. Who you got, Falcons or Seahawks in this bird battle?
I don't know. Give me the Seahawks at home.
Yeah.
I'll take them home.
I got the Seahawks.
Seahawks at home.
Cross country, I'm going to do it. Seahawks at home.
Falcons win 27-23 over the Seahawks.
Bad picks.
Upset alert, Tommy.
No. You got to tell me that Jaguars are going to go across the whole country and beat the Chargers. Now, they're improved. They played pretty well last week as they whooped up on the Colts, but I like the Chargers at home.
Well, the problem here is you're wondering if Herbert's playing because it's questionable.
Yeah.
But I am going to also take the Chargers. I think they'll win. Their defense will be good enough.
They had a good pretty serviceable backup. I can't remember. It was Tyrod Taylor, wasn't it?
I don't know.
But then he's gone. I don't think Tyrod Taylor's there.
I don't know.
Anymore.
I don't know who the backup is.
I go Chargers too, Terry.
Yep. Give me the Chargers.
Chargers across the board.
Jaguars win 38-10 over the Chargers.
4 across the board on a questionable team. Y'all gonna make me do this. I'm going Texans.
You shouldn't do that, Kevin. Come on.
Terry, are the Bears good?
No, they're not great, but they're better than the Texans.
Well, the Texans have played pretty
Lovie
well.
Smith's down there. Come on.
What's the guy's name? Davis Mills?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say this. The Bears should win, but I don't feel good about 4 people picking the Bears.
Bears win 23-20 over the Texans.
Bad picks.
J-E-T-S. Jets. They're a good team as long as Joe Flacco's on the field, boys.
He is good.
He's elite.
Bengals win 27-12 over the Jets.
No, I don't like Matt Rule. Give me the Saints. They got to have this game. And Baker.
All I said, they only need 17 points and they win.
Baker's either really good or really bad. I think the Saints will get this win.
And I'm also taking the Saints. I think their defense can take care of Mayfield.
I just know the Saints will score 17 points. They're going to win this ball game. Saints with the victory over.
But I don't blame you.
That's a good point. I mean,
yeah.
They don't win 24.
I don't blame you. I'd pull for Carolina if I was a Carolina fan.
Dallas.
They're terrible.
Panthers win 22-14 over the Saints.
Give me the. I'm gonna take the Raiders here.
Titans win 24-22 over the Raiders.
I wouldn't doubt a cornered Belichick here. He's got to have this game. I like him at home. Give me the Patriots.
Ravens win 37-26 over the Patriots.
Bad picks.
Colts have not been playing well. Give me
they got a lot of guys back.
Who you going with, Shannon?
I'm going with Matt Ryan, Indianapolis Colts.
Terry Reinhardt.
I'm going, since they got a lot of guys back, the Colts.
If I'm picking the Chiefs, they better not lose this game after I pick Colts first 2 weeks and then they go over and beat the Chiefs. That's how I'll do it. I know it. Happens every time.
Did the Colts get shut out last week?
They did.
Yeah,
by Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are all picking
Trevor
Colts.
Lawrence went nuts.
Yeah, but they got like 3 or 4 guys coming back.
I just want to make sure I didn't dream that.
I don't know.
Colts win 20-17 over the Chiefs.
I'm a fan of the Dolphins, and I'm picking them to win this one at home. But probably Buffalo win, but I'm going with Dolphins.
That's a terrible mistake. Put me down for the Bills on this one. I'm not gonna. I've sold them short, and they keep proving me wrong. And I'm not a fan of the Dolphins and Tua. So Terry, go ahead.
I'm going with the Bills. I mean, Von Miller's made a tremendous difference on that defense, and it'll continue this week. Neither game the Bills have played have been close. So.
Give me the fish.
Good job.
I like him at home.
Good job.
Dolphins win 21-19 over the Bills.
Give me Brady at home, even though I don't like him. They're only a 1-point favorite at home over the Packers, who really struggled in week one.
Maybe the only game in NFL history where the quarterbacks combined over 70 years old in this game.
So they're close to 80.
Are you taking the Bucs?
I'm taking the Bucs at home.
Yeah, give me the Buccaneers at home.
Terry?
I don't know. Give me Green Bay. I'm gonna take Green Bay.
So Brady's been having marriage problems, and
he has,
and
he's got all kinds of things
Rodgers
wrong
has
with
been
him.
having has been doing ayahuasca. I don't know what to go with this one. We're gonna go with a home team, Bucks with a win over the Packers.
Packers win 14-12 over the Buccaneers.
Bad picks.
I'm going to go with Miami till they give me a reason not to. Give me Miami over Cincinnati.
And I'm also taking Miami over Cincinnati.
Bengals win 27-15 over the Dolphins.
Let me just say where they're playing. I'm going to go with the home team and give me the Giants.
Terry?
There's no way. Dallas always beats the Giants. So, come on.
I like the Giants. They're playing well. They're undefeated. Cooper Rush still playing, right? Cooper still running?
Yeah. And Giants have 2 Super Bowls in the last 20 years.
Oh, God, yeah.
Been to 3.
Go ahead. Like I always told you, Dallas defense will keep them in every game.
Terry, you're right. You guys should play good defense against the Duke quarterback. This is a game.
Diggs and them.
This will be the worst offensive game in the league this week. It might be 9-6. Going with a home team. John.
Cowboys win 23-16 over the Giants.
Bad picks.
Who you got?
Jimmy G's back.
Yeah.
Give me Jimmy G.
Yeah, me too. 49ers.
Broncos win 11-10 over the 49ers.
Those are some bad picks.
See this plastic tote right here? Well, I'm going to show you something right now. Now, some people are concerned that they might have to go for a long period of time without outside food. That's why 4 Patriots is blowing up with thousands of requests for our survival food. And I should mention that when you get one of these heavy-duty 4-week survival food kits, you also get 2 of these 72-hour survival food kits for free. By the way, this food stays good in pouches like this up to an incredible 25 years long. Now, I've heard some brands have already run out of their survival food, but we are doing everything we can to make as much survival food available as possible right now with everything that's going on. That's why now, for a limited time, and I cannot stress this enough, while supplies last, you can get a discreet, low-key storage tote that is packed with a walloping 4-week supply of survival food. Now, this tote is capable of feeding you breakfast, lunch, dinner, and yes, even snacks for weeks at a time. Again, this tote comes packed with enough in it for a full 4 weeks of food, and it all fits in right here. Now, you know what? I think I can cover the shipping costs to make this as easy as possible to ship this entire tote directly to your door. Yeah, forget about shipping costs. It's on the house. Free shipping on your 4-week survival food kit with some cool bonuses. I'm gonna toss in 4 of our most popular guides for free that you'll have instant access to on your devices the minute you place your order. So you can read them today, in fact. Guides about how to slash grocery bills every single day, how to start a survival garden without a ton of space, a water survival guide that includes a quick napkin calculation for how much water you really need on hand at a minimum, and a checklist with crucial items likeliest to sell out first in a crisis. Now, this guide is amazing It lists an item right on page 8 we predicted years ago would sell out first in a crisis. And when it flew off the shelves this year, it shocked everyone. It even made the news. It didn't shock us. Just to make sure everybody has a fair shot at claiming these food totes with weeks of food jammed in them, again, before running out, we're able to throw in a 25% savings instantly. There won't be any coupon code or rebate required. It's just listed that way right now on our website. We're throwing in a free 72-hour survival food kit. That's right on top, no extra cost. We're gonna step it up though. We're adding another free 72-hour survival food kit. Now that's an added 6 days worth of breakfast, lunch, and dinner for free, no extra cost. It's gonna come with this tote already packed with 4 weeks of survival food. So you get free shipping, survival extra bonus items, and of course, 4 weeks of vital life-saving survival food. That's really about all I can do for you at this time. So you have to claim your kit. But right now, you have to click the link if you want to get yours before supplies run out for who knows how long. Take the initiative and get yourself prepared right now while we still have our 4-week survival food kits in stock. So you can be a survivor, not a statistic.
On every vacation at a Verbo home, there's someone like you, who reunited the family to make up for lost time.
The Around the NFL podcast. As fun as Paris in the 40s.
That's an all-time Rosenthal. From the Chris Wessling podcast studio, it's Around the NFL. I'm Dan Hansis. I have heroes with me. Yes, the aforementioned Greg Rosenthal, Mark Sessler. The Week 3 preview show starts now.
I was really looking for like the Belle Epoque or whatever. I don't even know how you say it, but that's like late 1800s, early 1900s.
You're off by 50 to 60 years, so that's
when
okay.
Paris was
like
reduced to rubble.
About 30
and
years.
And the Nazis were walking through the streets.
I nailed it.
Right.
Not typically seen as a golden era for Paris. But we've litigated this.
But maybe it's a good, accurate description of this show that's coming up.
You know what was probably pretty awesome, although still torn apart by war? The post-Nazi occupation. So even if you went late 40s,
a lot of party. Yeah, you're definitely.
You would have been good.
It's a reverse bullseye.
Yeah.
In terms of your parallel.
Just like feel lucky to be alive. Celebrate. Life is short.
Where was the iconic photo taken? I already know the answer actually of the Navy, the seaman back from war, getting the kiss from the lady. I think that was Times Square in New York City.
Yeah, you tell us, because the open-ended historical questions are not good for Greg and I.
Anyone listening in, you're just getting a free history lesson. You don't need school. You only need us. We're your teachers.
Week 3. And Week 3's got a lot of work to do to live up to Week 2. Kind of ended with a whimper. The primetime games weren't so good, but everything else was a lot of fun, and we're going to get to all of the Week 3 games, and we're going to have a visit to the Cincinnati Zoo to check in with the Wessling brothers, who, by the way, not for nothing, we have our locks competition, which is pretty tight right now after Week 2's Lockocalypse. Definitely not
Allocalypse. Yeah. Which is suggested by a listener, which we did not come up with on our own.
Allocalypse?
Yeah, Allocalypse.
That's good. The Wessling brothers